Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, September 11th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the San Diego Padres versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And on the thumb on the left, we have the OG Manny Machado. And we have on the right, the Mariners' best pitcher, Brian. Whoa! Now let's get into the starting lineup here first for the visiting San Diego Padres. Leading off for the Padres at DH, Luis Arraez. The modern-day Ichiro Suzuki has only struck out twice since the All-Star break. Crazy. Batting second, playing right field, Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting third, playing left field, throw it far, hit it far, Jurickson Profar. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, third baseman, Manny Machado. Batting fifth, playing second base, it's the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Batting seventh, playing center field, Jackson Merrill. Batting eighth, playing first base for San Diego, Donovan Solano. And batting ninth, catching tonight for the Padres, Kyle Higashioka. And on the mound for the Padres with a 12-8 record and ERA of 3.10, we have Michael King. And now let's get into the starting lineup for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in right field, Victor Robles. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, catching tonight for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing first base for the Mariners, Luke Raley. Batting sixth, DHing for Seattle, Justin Turner. Batting seventh, playing second base for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting eighth, playing shortstop for the M's, J.P. Crawford. And batting ninth, playing third base, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, our number one pitcher, 7-2 record with an ERA of 2.36. It is Brian Woo. And we need to have that electricity. We need to have that consistency. And hopefully Brian can go a solid 6-7 innings. So that way we can tie up this series. It's a short series. Obviously being from the American League and the National League. Interleague series, only 2 games. We lost yesterday. It wasn't even close. Hopefully today we can get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and Brian Wu can pitch a gem, and we can end up winning this game. Let's go, Wu. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. Addiction, depression, anxiety, these are things that not only I've gone through, but I know some of y'all are going through it right now or have in the past. So if you feel like you're slipping into the darkness a little bit, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine, hold yourself accountable, push yourself a little bit, even if it may be a little uncomfortable, and you'll get good results. If you're not exercising, exercise. If you're not eating healthy and you're eating fast food every day, cut back and eat healthier. Listen to 30 minutes of music every single day, spend time with friends, family, and pets, and make sure you're somewhere positive every day, like the NWSF. And if you do these basic things, it'll help you get back on track, and it'll help you win the day. All right, baby, here we go. San Diego Padres, Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 3 to 4 minutes. And again, we'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, M's, baby. Let's go. Daniel in the building. What's good? Sarah in the building. What's good? Britt in the building. What's good? Still feel sick? I hope that you feel a little bit better. What do you think it is? You have like a cold or a flu? It always sucks when you end up getting sick at this time of the year too. And sometimes people end up getting sick, based off the weather change. But obviously with Colton and a lot of the germs and all the other kids, anytime you end up having kids at the house, obviously there's going to be more of a chance to get sick from what they bring home. But hopefully things will get better for you and Colton. Let's go, Mariners. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more competitive today than it was yesterday. Again, we started to keep it close early on. I mean, hell, we ended up getting the first 2 home runs yesterday with Cal Raleigh as well as Nuke Rayleigh to make it 2-0. But again, we hit 2 home runs. They were both solo shots, 1 apiece. They get 2 home runs, and it goes for 5. A 2-run blast and a 3-run blast. And again, George Kirby is a good pitcher. Only really had 2 bad pitches, but sometimes that's all it takes for someone to be able to take it out of the house and out of the ballpark. And then you look up at the scoreboard and you thought, 2-0, we have a chance. And then all of a sudden, a couple innings later, you look at the scoreboard and it's 5-2. Then it turns into 7-2. We ended up losing 7-3, but the magic number will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, or obviously on top of that, making sure that Brian Wu doesn't have a lot of walks, a lot of hit by pitches, and hopefully he can end up getting somewhere between 7 to 10 Ks. But a lot of our pitchers are normally getting around 4 to 7. But again, a lot of pop-ups, ground outs, whatever it may be, just anything that we can do to find a way to get the dub. That's tough. We'll hope you feel a little bit better here shortly in the next couple days. Megan with a 5er. Absolutely. Mental health, it's always important. And again, let me know what you want to do for photos. If there's anything different, and I got you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang, $5 holla, 95 to go. Let's go, baby. Sprinkle in a little Glenn to start it off, and then we can go through your regulars. Ladies, grab your bibs. Handsome alert. Watch out. We're at 5, 95 to go. $82-64, the San Diego Padres, and the Seattle Mariners only 73-72. And really the only thing I can say is at least that we have a winning percentage above 500. Right now we're 4.5 games back right now in the wild card race. So again, it's going to be one of those things. It's not going to be easy. Houston is hosting Oakland tonight. Mariner offense, 10-plus hits in 5 out of the last 6 games. San Diego has a 2-game lead in the wild card, 4.5 games back in the West, and they got a .592 winning percentage on the road. Second in MLB, number 1 is Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and the New York Yankees. They can play on the road like San Diego. Hopefully one day the Seattle Mariners will be able to do the same. Let's see if I can sprinkle in at least 1 or 2 more here. And we're going to get first pitch here in just one moment. You know, Cal doesn't need too many more home runs to be number 1 in MLB history, to be able to have the most home runs in his first 3 seasons of all time. He's like only 3 or 4 away from Mike Piazza, which is pretty crazy. And again, for all the people, you know, that thought Julio was going to be the face of the franchise and the best player, you know, by a million, are starting to realize that Cal Raleigh, you know, oh, what a dope chest protector that he's got. They're wearing all white, and he's got a brand new icy white chest protector with the knee pads and everything. Man, Cal looking fresh out there. All right, Cal, I see you. Okay. Hopefully that, you know, you look good. You feel good, you play good. You know, Deion Sanders said that way back in the day, you know, not only at Florida State, on the Atlanta Falcons, the San Francisco 49ers, as well as the Dallas Cowboys. And it is true, you know, especially if you got that type of swagger and aura, then you end up, you know, dressing nice. You got a nice little fit, you know, brand new shoes, brand new cleats, brand new jersey, whatever it may be. And hopefully we get a good performance here out of Brian Wu and Cal Raleigh. So unfortunately, Britt is not going to see Mitch Garver at least starting. We might see him sprinkled in maybe as a pinch hitter later in the game. I'm not too sure if he'll play today, but that's probably a good thing. At least for now, we want to make sure we have our best catcher available, which is going to be Cal Raleigh. And this is only going to be a 2-game set. And then tomorrow, instead of doing the Mariners, even though I don't even know if they have a game tomorrow or if they're off to another location. I'm pretty sure they play the Rangers next, but we're going to end up doing the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen going against Tua and the Miami Dolphins for Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. Go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Do your boy a solid. We want to try to get 20 within the first hour so we can hit the algorithm. And then from there, it's easy, sweet sailing to be able to get hopefully to 30 to 50. So if you are in the room and haven't done it yet, please do. We need 2 more to get to 10. And then obviously we want to try to shoot for 20. So about half of the people in the room have smashed it so far. Hopefully you will be one of those individuals. I love you guys and I appreciate you. And obviously the first batter here for the Padres, Luis Arraez, the modern-day Ichiro Suzuki. First pitch to Arraez, pitches outside, 1-0 count. 3 for 5 last night, Ichiro-like numbers, 3 singles and 2 runs. And Arraez is such a good contact hitter and has great eyes that he's only struck out twice since the All-Star break. Twice. We got guys that strike out 4 or 5 times a game. He struck out twice in I don't know how many games, 50, 60, 70 games. That's crazy. 153 singles, 25 doubles, 2 triples, 4 home runs. So very similar to Ichiro, where you're not going to get a lot of home runs, you know, but every once in a while he'll surprise you. Arraez pops up into left field to Randy Arozarena, 1 away. We'll take that. We'll take a pop-up rather than a hit right out of the gates. Nothing there for Luis, and we'll take it. 1 away. Next up, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. DX in the building. What's good? Yeah, Kraken have been putting out a lot of pictures of Brandon and company, so it's very cool. Little slow dribbler. JP is there. Throw to first to Rayleigh. 2 away. but obviously getting me excited for, the NHL season. And, they're doing a lot of the promo photos, for the magazines and obviously the promo stuff for Twitter/X and Facebook and Instagram and all the social media stuff that they're going to be using those photos on. It's nice to be able to see a nice little reminder that even though we still got baseball and we're still in the NASCAR Cup Series, those two things are ending. The NBA and the NHL are right around the corner. And even though we won't be doing a lot of NBA, very minimal, we will be doing a good amount of the NHL and the Seattle Kraken. Obviously, once football obviously starts to wind down and we're looking for something to do, we'll be doing Kraken at that time. Top of the first, and then obviously after the Mariners are done, I could still end up doing the Dodgers. But if the Kraken are playing and it's not on a football day, then we can always do a Kraken stream too. Pitch is high and inside to Jurickson Profar. 1 ball and 1 strike. Throw it far, hit it far, Jurickson Profar. Elliott's favorite player besides you, Darvish. I see you. Yeah, and I really like our draft and the players that we brought in. And like I said, it just feels like, just like with the Seattle Seahawks, you felt it. Even though there was a coaching change and a lot of us, were a little, not necessarily shocked or displeased, but we kind of knew it was coming at some point, with Hack and with Pete. But so far, with the new regime, it looks like it's working out very, very well. I was going through all the stats, popped up to Randy Arozarena, Profar, and then we are out of the top of the first. Let's go to the bottom of the first and see who's up for the Mariners. But I've been going on PFF, and I've been going and deep diving on the stats and the analytics, and there is many, many players, not only on the offense for the Seahawks that are playing well, like Charles Cross on the offensive line, but also a lot of the guys on the defense on every level, the D-line, the linebackers, and the secondary. So it's nice to be able to see that even though it's year number 1, and even though that the media thinks that the Seahawks are like the 22nd, 23rd, 24th best team, which is ludicrous, because obviously you can tell that the media is incredibly biased. When I look at the top, 32 list from the NFL, ESPN, Fox Sports, it always has a couple teams that are very disrespected and very underrated. When I look at that top 32 list of all of the teams, and they only have the Seahawks better than like 8 or 9, when you look at that list, they're better than 8 or 9 teams that are ahead of them. The Seahawks should be ranked, somewhere between probably 10 and 15, not 22, 23, 24. Again, when I look at that list, it just makes me laugh. And it really does show you that there is a big, strong bias in the Pacific Northwest for some of our teams for whatever reason. If they want to say, oh, it's because of the coaching, this and that, well, that tells me that you're not watching the games. And there is that bias there, but we like to prove the haters wrong. And if you want to underestimate us in Oregon and Washington and our teams, we'll find a way to prove everybody wrong. And I'm excited to be able to see what happens this weekend between your guys' teams. Obviously with Megan and Brett, we got the Patriots and the Seahawks, and we'll see what happens this weekend. Bottom of the first here for the Mariners. We're out 0-0. Leading off for Seattle, Victor Robles. One of the best additions the Mariners have had in a long, long time. Love him. Batting second, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. 11-game hit streak ended obviously yesterday, but hopefully he can start a new one here today. And batting third, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Tridents up, baby. Bring that electricity. Let's get it. Let's go, Victor. Michael King on the mound. And for Michael King here on the Padres, he is one of their better pitchers, so this is not going to be easy. 12-8 record, ERA of 3.10. Hopefully we can get hits on him early and often. Check swing there for Robles. 0-2 count. Come on, Victor. And what Victor really does set the tone for us, and I'm glad that they moved JP lower in the lineup. When Victor gets a hit, at his first at-bat or his second at-bat, we win like 9 times out of 10. And he doesn't even have to hit home runs because he's not really a home run hitter. Just get on base with a bunt, a single, a double, whatever way that you need to do. Get hit by a pitch, but don't get injured. Find a way. Career versus Michael King, he's 1 for 2 with a home run. So he's not a home run hitter, but it is possible here today. Let's go, baby. We need you, Victor. Set the tone early for the Mariners. Double E in the building. What's good? Good to have you here, bro. We missed you in the game yesterday. I know you dropped in a little bit late when you guys were already dominating. But nice to have you in the room. I don't know how long you have here. If you're going to be here for the whole game to watch with us. This is the last game that we're going to play against each other all season. It's only a 2-game set for interleague play. And you guys beat the shit out of us yesterday 7-3. So we're looking for a little bit of payback with Brian Wu. But we do respect Michael King and all of your studs. It's not going to be easy. 0-2 pitch is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I wish we could have a record like Elliott and Double E, you know. We're only 73-72. The Padres, 82-64. I could only dream of the day that we have a record that good. But I know we will one day. It's just not going to be this year. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. You're here all game? Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome, bro. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Big punch out there for Michael King. We'll give him some credit here. I see you. First punch out for Michael King. Sinker, changeup, 4-seam, sweeper, slider. Again, one of the pitchers in baseball that can go with an arsenal of 5 different pitches. Slider, not used as much as the other 4. So we have to definitely keep our head on a swivel. And again, we don't got anybody like Luis Ariz, who's only struck out twice since the All-Star break. Our guys strike out 3, 4, 5 times a game, not 2 times in like 60 games like Luis Ariz, but hopefully we can find our way. Next up here, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Tridents up, baby. Let's go. Bring that electricity. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, off balance. Come on, baby. Behind in the count, 0-2. There we go. We got the Asian persuasion in the crowd with a big fat head of Julio. That's dope. I need one of those. Yeah, Cease is the best. Popped up. Solano is there. And he gets greeted by Julio as they share a laugh. 2 away. Cease had the no-hitter earlier in the year, correct? And batting third, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Tridents up, baby. I don't know how many photos we need for Cal Raleigh, but I need a good game out of him today. Let's go. And if that means 5 photos, then you're going to get 5. Let's go, big dumper. Let's get home run number 31. 213 average, 30 homers, 91 ribbies. And I told you guys that this was the best player on the Mariners at the beginning of the year, at the middle of the year, at the end of the year. And my statement hasn't changed. The impact of Cal Raleigh is ginormous. And again, we want to make sure that we're going to extend him and pay him whatever we need to do. $200 million, $250 million, $300 million. You know, the contract that you gave Julio, we should have given to Cal Raleigh. And again, he is going to end up more than likely leading all catchers again, you know, in home runs, and he's only 3 or 4 behind all-time Mike Piazza. So again, I think Mike was at 92, 93 in his first 3 years. Cal Raleigh, I believe, is at 89, and so he's averaging about 30 home runs a year. And again, with a low batting average. Can you imagine if Cal Raleigh's batting average was just slightly higher? Big swing and a miss. King with another punch out. I mean, he's already at 30 home runs every year, batting around 200 to 210. Now, if he gets that batting average up to 250 to 300, then he's going to start hitting 40 to 50 home runs from the catcher position. Wild. So I can't wait for him to progress and get better, but we don't get anything there. Nice job by Michael King. End of the first inning, and we're knotted up here 0-0. Let's see who's up next here for the San Diego Padres. And on the mound for the Mariners, our best pitcher, hands down, the most improved pitcher in probably about 10 years out of any Mariner pitcher. 7-2 record, ERA of 2.36. You already know what it is. Brian Wu. And if we didn't have Brian Wu on the mound, I guarantee we would lose this game. I mean, we still might end up losing today, but we had Kirby and Wu, and those are probably the 2 of best options right now besides maybe Logan Gilbert. But again, as we've watched games, you know, regardless of reputation, Logan Gilbert sometimes plays good, sometimes gets roughed up. Same thing with George Kirby. Bryce Miller as well. Luis Castillo obviously is on the injured list, so he's going to be gone for a few weeks, and we'll see what we do with the rotation after him. But Brian Wu, he's definitely brought the energy, the swagger, the aura, the vibe, and we're going to need a good performance here today out of our boy, Brian Wu. Let's see who's up here next for the San Diego Padres. Killer lineup for them. Next up for the Padres, third baseman, Manny Machado. Batting second, number 5 hole hitter, second baseman, Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. And batting third in the 6 hole, shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. This is a wild lineup. Luis Ariz, Fernando Tatis Jr., Jurickson Profar, Manny Machado, Crone Zone, Xander Bogaerts, and even Jackson Merrill, being a new and up-and-coming player. That's pretty solid. And if you're going to, say, well, Solano and Higgy aren't that good, Solano actually had a great game yesterday, and you can never underestimate hitters in the 8 or the 9 hole. Sometimes those are the guys that end up being the unexpected heroes. Top of the second, 0-0, Padres and Mariners. Nobody on, nobody out. 0-1 pitch to Machado from Wu. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Manny Machado. Two for 5 this series for Manny. And again, I said this at the beginning of the year, and I'll say it again. The San Diego Padres are the biggest sleeper team in baseball, not only in the National League, but I believe in the American League. I truly believe if they matched up, against the Brewers, the Braves, pretty much anybody, and we know the Phillies and Dodgers are going to be the ones that have the most pub and the most, notoriety, in the National League, but I guarantee Dodgers and their fan base, Phillies and their fan base don't want anything to do with San Diego, because whoever plays them in the playoffs has a very good chance to lose. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if the Padres overachieve and end up making, the NLCS, or even doing the impossible and making the World Series. Again, there's going to be other teams that are going to be more favored, like the Dodgers and the Phillies. But the last 2 years, the top 2 teams haven't made it to the World Series. 2 years ago, the Phillies ended up making it, getting hot and healthy at the right time. Last year, it was Corbin Carroll and the Diamondbacks. Could this year be 3 in a row? And instead of the Dodgers or the Phillies, could it be the Padres? You never know. And the Diamondbacks are in the mix as well. But I think I lean a little bit more towards the Padres this year than the Diamondbacks. Top of the second, 0-0. Machado dribbles out, 1 away. Next up, it's the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. 250 average, 16 homers, and 78 ribbies for Jake Cronenworth. Yeah, Solano's been good for you guys. 1-0 pitch. Pitch in there for a strike in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Come on, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We want to get 20 in the first hour. We're having a good start. We're at 14. 6 more to go to get to 20. And half of the people in the room have done it so far. For the 32 that we got in the room, we're at 15. 5 more to hit the goal to get to 20 in the first hour. And then we can hit 30 to 50 overall. And we've been doing really well on the channel within the last few weeks as well. We're over 4.1 million views. We've gained 140 subs within the last few weeks. Reaction videos are starting to take off, which is nice, especially with the Saints fans. I'll definitely cater to them all season. And then again, I'll try to pump out 5 to 8 every week, just kind of depending on my schedule and, the matchups on, if it's a good matchup and if it's, worth a reaction video. But I'm going to try to do as many as I can. And then obviously Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night, NFL games, as well as the Oregon Ducks on Saturday night. And then anything else in between, we're going to pump out as much material as we can. Top of the second, 0-0 Padres and Mariners. Nobody on, 1 out. 2-2 pitch from Wu to Crone Zone. Pitch is high and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jake Cronenworth. Come on, Wu. We need a good outing here today. And who would have thought our 5-hole pitcher for the last couple years would improve so much and turn into the #1 pitcher for the Mariners? You know, George Kirby and Logan Gilbert are always going to be probably more popular, but any Mariner fan or baseball fan really knows pops up to Randy Arozarena, 2 away. Brian Wu has been our best pitcher hands down this year. Let's go, baby. And hopefully we don't have any big home runs that are given up. But if they are, hopefully they're solo dingers, not 2-run blasts and 3-run blasts out of Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. yesterday. And we ended up getting the solo blast with Luke Raley and Cal Raleigh, giving us a 2-0 lead, but that wasn't enough. Next up for the Padres, shortstop Xander Bogaerts. 263 average, 9 homers, and 36 ribbies here in 2024. Cap Norio in the building. What's good? Wu is him. 1-0 pitch. Pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike for Brian Wu. And I'm really happy that he's actually playing today. I mean, we only have a 2-game set, and we don't have too many 2-game sets throughout the year, only for interleague play. But I love playing the Padres. This quality of a team to kind of see how we match up. But we got fucked up yesterday, and we need a little payback. Little dribbler towards third, throw to first. Got him! J-Row with the great defense there, baby. 6 up and 6 down. Nice job, J-Row. Hollywood in the building. Let's go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. We're still knotted up here at 0. Nice job. Way to bring that electricity. All right, baby. We're at 17. 3 more likes to get to 20. We got 14 people in the room that we're still waiting on. Let's go, baby. Next up for the Mariners, in left field, batting cleanup, Randy Arozarena. Swing that damn bat, Randy. Batting second, first baseman, Luke Raley. And this has been one of the best pickups for the Mariners besides Victor Robles in quite some time. I think he's really found a place here in Seattle. And every once in a while, we'll get a big nuke out of Luke Raley. And hopefully we get another one here tonight. And batting third in the 6th hole, Big Red, it's JT Justin Turner. Let's go, Mariners. Yeah, again, we know Luis Castillo's on the IL. I just feel with Logan Gilbert and George Kirby, when they don't get the run support, early, and they keep it going on a flow, because we got the home run out of Cal and Luke, but then it kind of died off. It's like I feel with certain pitchers, they need extra, hits and extra runs early for their confidence to kind of keep the momentum going. But for a guy like Brian Wu, he might give up a home run tonight. But again, I don't think he'll give up 2 or 3, kind of like Logan Gilbert and George Kirby when they get roughed up. But again, all of our pitchers have the ability to get 10 Ks, which is something that many, franchises can't say 1 through 5 in the starting lineup. But also, we're the team that doesn't give enough run support. Nice barehand throw there by Rojas. That was beautiful. But we don't really give our pitchers enough support. But hopefully we'll be able to give Brian Wu the support that he needs, because I would love for him to improve his record from 7-2 to 8-2. Let's go. Tie this up, baby. Next up here in the box, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And I want to be able to see some nice effort. There we go. That's my boy, Randy. All the way back to the wall. Stand-up double at a Randy Arozarena. Sometimes lazy running to first. Sometimes lazy in left field. Sometimes lazy in the box and just steps away and takes a strike. But not lazy today. He's on his A game. He's fucking focused. He understands the drill, and he drills that one all the way back to left field. 29th double for Randy Arozarena. And I know him and I believe Luke Raley are only 1 home run away each from 20 apiece. So that would be great if we could end up getting those stats obviously accumulated here in the next few days. There we go. Let's get him home. Next up, first baseman, Luke Raley, 240 average. And I was right, 19 home runs and 50 ribbies. My mind is pretty sharp when it comes to sports and wrestling, but when you end up, covering a billion things a day, sometimes things get lost in the weeds a little bit. But I think that Randy is at 19 and Luke is at 19 as well. Career versus Michael King, 1 for 2 for Luke Raley. Let's make it 2 for 3. You ask and you shall receive. A's 5-3. Fuck yeah. Come on, Athletics. Raley, little dribbler. Flip to first. 1 away. And we got Randy to third base, so that's what we wanted. Next up, DHing for the Mariners, Justin Turner. And I also want to see a couple bunts drop down today. We only had one yesterday, and we are one of the most successful teams at dropping the bunt and being successful, as well as being one of the most successful teams stealing bases. So if that's the case, we need to get our guys in position more, and I'm hoping that we have 2 or 3 bunts, and I know that might be too many. We might only get 1 or none tonight, but I really feel if we average 2 to 3 bunts a game, we win. When we only do 1 or 0, we lose. So again, and not every bunt attempt is going to come up successful, but it seems like 9 times out of 10 when we drop a bunt down or we steal a bag, we end up being successful, and that helps us move guys over and win the game. Bottom of the second, runner at third, Randy Arozarena. Michael King on the mound. JT in the box. 1 ball and 1 strike to Justin Turner. 1 for 2 this series for our boy, JT. Let's go. Come on, baby. Give us that swag. Give us that aura. You might be 39 years old and one of the oldest positional players in baseball, right? But you still got a little bit to offer, and I'm really happy that he's here. 293 career average versus the Padres. Obviously, a lot of that was against, the Dodgers when he was on that roster, and hopefully he can do something here. 276 average with runners in scoring position, 1 homer and 36 ribbies. 1-2 pitch. Tried to jam him, and he struck out swinging. 2 away. Come on, JT, focus. Next up, a guy that's in the biggest slump that we probably should bring up, Ryan Bliss right now. Second baseman Jorge Polanco. Right now, he was 4 for 47, and then he got a hit yesterday, tried to make it a double and got thrown out. So if you do get a hit here, stay at first. All right, don't worry about trying to get to second base. And right now, I believe he's 5 for 48 or 4 for 48. So he's been on a big slump, and hopefully things will get a little bit better here for Polo. Come on, baby. Yeah, anytime we're going to be rooting for the Athletics or rooting for a team kind of seems like out of nowhere, it'll be the team that's playing the Astros, because that's the team that we're trying to catch up on the wild card. 208 average for Jorge Polanco, 2 for 4 this series, and hopefully he can continue that hot streak, because again, going into the game, he was 4 for 47, so not good. Trident's up. Let's go. 238 average with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. 10 for 42. 0 homers, but he does got 12 ribbies. And we got Randy at third. So he just has to make contact. Now, I don't know if I would be dropping the bunt down in this situation. But let's see what Polo does here. 1-2 pitch. Polo pops it up. And that one is fading foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Royals and Yankees, 2 quality teams. But I don't expect a whole lot of Polo early. I would assume if he does get a hit, it'll be later on. And that's the problem. We need to get hit, 3 in a row. And we have a really hard time doing that. Maybe the hardest out of any team in baseball. 1-2 pitch. Swings at some garbage, low and away. Great strikeout by King. We leave a runner stranded at third, and hopefully that doesn't happen often. And we're knotted up here at 0. Great recovery there by Michael King. .12-8 record, ERA of 3.10 coming into the matchup. All right, let's see who's up next here for the San Diego Padres in the top of the third. Magic number for the Mariners, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. We hit that, we're going to win. Next up, center fielder in the 7 hole, Jackson Merrill. This new up-and-coming player has got a lot of potential with the rest of the guys in the lineup. Arise, Tatis Jr., Profar, Machado, Cronenworth, Bogarts, Merrill, and then you got Solano and Higgy. Batting second in the 8-hole, first baseman Donovan Solano. And batting third in the 9-hole, catcher Kyle Higgy. Let's go. And we got to make sure Bryan Woo, so far so good, hasn't given up the big home run, hasn't given up the big RBI. Very solid. And we need him to continue his hot streak. 7-2 record, ERA of 2.36. And it kind of makes you wonder, if he was healthy all year, what would his record be right now? Would his record be like, 13-4, something like that? I mean, very possible that he would have a record like that, or 14-4. Bryan Woo's a stud. And hopefully he can keep developing not only this year, and he'll get higher in the rotation, because obviously they had Luis Castillo as the one and as the opening day pitcher. But I kept telling everyone at the beginning of the year, Castillo has been declining since the year that we brought him in and made the playoffs in 2022. He's progressively gotten worse in 2023 and even worse in 2024. And he will be worse in 2025. It's like he's almost at a point where maybe we need to put Castillo in the bullpen. And I'm not trying to hate on him, but I'm just saying, he's definitely the fifth best. You got Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Bryan Woo, Bryce Miller. And I think right now, if we're going based off order, probably Bryan Woo 1, and then Logan Gilbert 2, George Kirby 3, Bryce Miller 4, and Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are interchangeable at 2 and 3, and Bryce Miller 4, and then Castillo at 5. So I would really like to be able to see Durangelo, the switch pitching stud prospect that we got from Mississippi State this year in the draft. I know he's not going to be ready right away, but I would love for that to be our new number 5, like the new Bryan Woo project, but I know we might have to wait a few years for him to be in that position, or he might end up being a bullpen guy, like a Matt Brash, or a guy like Troy Taylor, or an Andres Munoz kind of guy. I don't really know how they're going to use him as a lefty and a righty pitcher, but I'm excited. 0-2 pitch to Jackson Merrill, fouls it off himself. Count remains 0-2. JH in the building. What's good? Top of the third, 0-0. Nobody on, nobody out. Bryan Woo, our ace, our number 1 pitcher. And that's kind of crazy to say, because he was our 5th best pitcher for a couple years. And there was games where his ERA, when he first came up, I remember, he gave up like 8, 9, 10 runs. And then his ERA was like 12, then it was 10, then it was 7, then it went down to 5. And then he got better and better, but he was averaging about 2 to 3 home runs that he was giving up, early in his career. Now, it's a very rare thing that he walks, hits pitchers or hits batters, gives up big home runs. And typically now, if he gives up a home run, it's like 1, not 2, 3, or 4 home runs like in the past. And again, to be able to have Woo, Kirby, Gilbert, Miller, Castillo, at some point we have to figure out what we're going to be doing with Castillo, either moving him to the bullpen or having him as our number 5. But still, how many number 5s are going to be as quality as like a Miller or a Castillo? Not many pitchers and not many teams got that depth, but we still got guys in the farm system coming up that might be able to take a spot at some point in a year or two. 1-2 pitch from Woo to Merrill. Get his ass. Come on, Woo. Got him, baby. There we go. First strikeout for my boy, Bryan Woo. Let's go. Yes, sir. Mariner Moose giving you that Ric Flair drip. Woo! Let's go. Nice job, Brian. First K of the night. Keep wheeling. Keep dealing. Let's get it. 1 away. Next up for the Padres in the 8-hole, a guy that's overlooked a lot, Donovan Solano. Don't sleep on him. 292 average, 6 homers, and 31 ribbies. One of the best hitters in the 8-hole in the entire MLB. I mean, hell, we got not very many players that are even above 300. I know me and Elliot looked it up. Slow dribbler, throw to first, 2 away. But just a couple weeks ago, we only had like 10, 11, 12 players total in the entire MLB that were batting over 300. I don't know what the number is now. I imagine Elliot or someone in the room can look that up. But normally it's only about 10, 11, 12 players total. And then you're going to have maybe 4, 5, 6 players that are close, like in the 290 range, like Solano there, but pretty impressive to be at 292, in the 8-hole. Next up is Higgy in the 9-hole for the Padres. Kyle Higashioka. 225 average, 16 homers, and 43 ribbies. And for Higgy, he's got some of the most home runs in the 9-hole in the entire league. I mean, he might not have a good batting average at 225. It's a lot better than a lot of Mariner players, but to have 16 home runs in the 9-hole, that's fucking ridiculous. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Behind in the count 0-2. He will strike out a lot, but just the simple fact that he's got 16 homers, that's pretty crazy. To think that he's got like a similar amount or more than like Julio, even though Julio's had a bad year this year, right, in the 9-hole. They're very deep. If they get hot and healthy, the Padres could do some damage this year. Big swing and a miss. Got him. 9 up and 9 down for my boy, Brian. Woo! Let's go. Second punch out for Brian Wu. Nice job, baby. Mariner Moose loves it. Let's go, baby. Keep wheeling. Keep dealing. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. And I really like the idea of moving J.P. Crawford down to the 8-hole or the 9-hole. He just hasn't been good this year. It's been an off year this year. He can't hit. Then he got his pinky, fractured. Then he came back from the injury just recently and just still hasn't been able to find his rhythm. Hopefully, we can get something out of him here tonight. In the 8-hole, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second this inning in the 9-hole, third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Already had a gem defensively with a bare hand grab, throw to first for an out. Let's see what he can do in the box. And batting third, one of my favorite players on the Mariners in a long, long time, right fielder Victor Robles. And I know at the trade deadline, we were very excited to get Randy Arozarena. But I'll tell you, if I had a choice between Randy and Victor, give me Victor all day. Victor doesn't get lazy. He's not lazy in the outfield. He runs hard. He makes more plays. He's a better hitter. I know Randy's more popular, but again, I don't know. It just seems like with Randy, certain games he's really focused. Other games he's lackadaisical and his mind is somewhere else. And I still love Randy, but it's very clear if we had to keep one or the other, keeping Victor Robles is the answer. Of course, I want to be able to keep both, but if we had to choose one or the other, it's 100% Victor Robles, which might surprise some people in the room. But if you watch the games, it's very clear who the better player is. But I do respect Randy and everything he did for Tampa Bay and here for the Mariners. But sometimes lazy running to first, sometimes lazy defense trying to get pop-ups and ground balls that go near him, and sometimes lazy in the box where he just takes a step back and just lets the strike happen, and he doesn't even swing. So hopefully the focus will be there. He did get a stand-up double, and then we got him over to third early in the game, but we weren't able to drive him home, obviously, with Jorge Polanco. Reflected in the building. Matt in the building. What's good? JP. Profar is there. One away. Come on, JP. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. $20 holla. Thank you so much. I think we're at 25 now. 5 from Megan, 20 from Reflect. Thank you so much. Go A's. We're putting the pressure on everybody in the league in fantasy football. And again, I saw that, Matt made some moves. Elliot made some moves. Sarah made some moves. Got to make moves, especially in the first couple weeks. And we don't really have a Puka Nacua type of player like we did last year in week 1 that kind of broke out, that was just on the wire and no one expected it. But there was still a lot of good pieces. And believe you me, if you decide to go to bed and not put in a request on the wire, or you're not up in the middle of the night or early in the morning, chances are that there's a lot of pieces that were still sitting there that are no longer there and now are on the bench for me and Reflect. And we definitely cashed in last night and this morning. Bottom of the third, 0-0, Padres and Mariners. Michael King on the mound, 31 pitches in. King and Wu look good so far. 1 away. Next up in the box is Hollywood Josh Rojas. Let's go, J-Ro. Let me know what you want to do for photos, if anything, and I got you. Reflect. Yeah, the tight end position has been very shitty in week 1, but hopefully things will be better and there'll be more looks, so that way that we don't get, bad scores of 1 or 2 or 4 or, even 8. As far as, because when you get a guy that's projected for 10 to 14 and they get 8, you feel good that you got the 8, but you still feel a little pissed off that you should have got a little bit more. But again, some of y'all ended up getting very low numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I totally understand. And sometimes you don't want to overreact based off just 1 week. But again, sometimes you have to be able to pivot and make an adjustment. And even though you might have a really good player on your bench that you really, really like and assume is going to have a good year, sometimes that person pisses you off so much, you got to give them the Hollywood Hogan boot and just fucking, set it, forget it, move on, and then try to get someone new and build a vibe with a new player or a new kicker or a new defense, a new tight end, as long as the talent level is there. But you don't want to overreact and just get rid of a guy if they have a bad week. Sometimes you just want to move him to the bench if you have that flexibility. If you don't, then obviously you have to make a move. Bottom of the third, 0-0 Padres and Mariners. There we go. And I mentioned I want to see 2 to 3 bunts today. And lo and behold, Victor Robles dropping down the first bunt. It goes foul, but I like it. We got to move guys over. And the best way for us to move guys over when we have a problem hitting is dropping that bunt down. Let's go. And again, if you're not updating your roster every week, compared to people that are, again, it's very key. Robles, another bunt attempt foul behind the count 0-2. And you always want to make sure that you're looking ahead in your schedule. Look ahead to week 2, week 3, week 4. Find out what your weakest week is when you got the most guys on a bye. Make sure that you're setting yourself up early so that way it's not all of a sudden you check your team and you got 4 guys that are out. You want to make sure that you're preparing and looking ahead. Bottom of the third, 0-0. Padres and Mariners, runner at first with 1 out. 0-2 pitch from King to Robles. Robles now forced to swing after 2 bunt attempts. That one, it goes foul towards third base. And I think a lot of us, we're looking at around the same type of players. Obviously, with your issues with Njoku, you wanted to get Isaiah Likely. I wanted him for depth, even though I have Sam Laporta. But I kind of figured that someone was going to get him before you and me got him on the wire. And Matt did a good job to grab someone like that because, again, you can already have a starting tight end. But if Lamar Jackson starts to go to Isaiah Likely more than Mark Andrews, then, again, that might be someone that you can throw in as your starting tight end or possibly a flex, depending on how the rest of the year goes. We don't really know yet, and it's game in, game out basis. You don't really know what the strategy is going to be depending on targets and looks. Oh, it hit him. Damn it. Victor Robles gets hit again. I hope he's okay. Just every single matchup, it just seems like we get hit more and more and more. And obviously, when we had Ty France, he was the most hit player out of anyone in Major League Baseball. And then Randy started getting hit. Victor, JP. Oh, got him right on the wrist. And it's like you almost have to wear a pad, you got a glove on, but it's like you almost have to have padding on your whole fucking arm, nowadays. And a lot of them have these big pads on their elbows, but it's like you got to make sure you're protecting your fingers and your wrist as well and still have mobility. But it looks like Victor's okay. That's our guy. Swag, baby. Next up, runners at first and second with 1 out. Can you start a new hitting streak? 11-game hitting streak ended yesterday, but can you start another one? Can you get a home run? Can we see some electricity? Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. RBI, baby. Let's go. It's ribby season. Pitches inside, almost hit him. 1 ball and no strikes. 259 average, 14 homers, and 49 ribbies. That's crazy. That Higgy in the 9-hole has more home runs than Julio does. Wild. Ana from Mexico in the building. Vamos, Mariners. Let's go. Dribbler towards third. Double play. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, how come he didn't go home? Golly, we had an opportunity there, and it looked like they were going to try to do a double play. Flips it, steps on the bag, but then drops it. Got antsy to do the double play there. Oh, how come the runner at third didn't go home? Come on, awareness, awareness, awareness. Come on. That was a missed opportunity, and now if we don't get an RBI, that might have been that start of momentum that we needed to make it 1-0. And again, there would have been a chance that he might have been able to make it. Maybe there would have been a throw home, but I really felt if you have good awareness there, you should have been able to make it home easy. Because they were going to go to first off the double play, not home. They weren't going to throw it from second to home. Should have scored a run there. That's a bad base running there by the Mariners. Crone zone, you goon. And Mariners are challenging here to see if he actually had the ball or not. I mean, it was in his mitt for a second and a half, and then it came out of his mitt. So I would assume if it's in his mitt for a second, it's out, right? Even if he drops it, it's in his mitt, it's there, he closed it, and then it kind of fell out of the webbing. So even if it was only for a second and a half, I would assume that's out, but you never know what these umps are going to call game in and game out. Yeah, we've been getting that too, with the Polo, JP. It just seems like, and we have to understand second base and shortstop is one of the hardest positions to play. So is first and third. There's a lot of ground balls that have to be covered. And especially, you have to be able to have a good mitt at first base, because there's going to be stuff that's thrown at you that you're going to have to adjust your body. High throws, low throws, throws that are one or two hoppers. So it's like if you don't got, good infield, first, second, third, shortstop, safe. Wow. I don't know if I agree with that call, but that was overturned, and now we have bases loaded. I mean, it did look like it was, in the mitt, in the webbing long enough, just to keep it honest and real. But anytime that we can get a call, since we didn't get fucking any yesterday, and that was kind of a 50-50 call, fuck it, I'll take it. There we go. Now can we knock somebody home here? Let's go. Yeah, but it kind of depends on how long it's in the mitt, after, if he touches the bag, and it's in the mitt and you touch second, it's out. And if it falls out, it's an out, right? But I guess it kind of just depends on how long it's in there, and it's based off the ump's discretion, if it's in there long enough before it falls out of the webbing. So. Fuck yeah, I like that call too. Oh, baby. Next up, it's your boy, Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Home run number 31. I wouldn't actually mind if he ended up walking. I don't want him to get hit by a pitch, but not get injured. A walk, bring in a free run, make it 1-0. Obviously, a bases clearing double would be great, right? But anything that we can get here, even just one run, not get greedy, we'll take it. We already had Randy at third, and Polo couldn't bring him home. 213 average, 30 homers, and 91 ribbies, averaging about 30 home runs a year, but he's only 3 or 4 away of being the number one catcher all time in home runs in his first 3 seasons. I believe Mike Piazza is at 93, and I think Big Dumper is at 89. So I think, yeah, he will get that number before the season is up. He'll either tie it or break it. I mean, imagine if his batting average was 250 to 300. He'd probably be averaging 40 home runs a season instead of 30. Maybe even hitting 50 at one point. 1-1 pitch. Now, let's go. Yes, and it drops. Bring in 1. Bring in 2. Bring in your whole family, baby. Yes. And that's what you got to talk about. Don't get greedy. The sports gods heard me. If you say, oh, grand salami, this and that, that's fine. But sometimes just making sure that you just get 1 and the sports gods hear it, then they will give you more in the next bat. You're not going to always get 4 or 3 right out of the gates. Nice job, Big Dumper. Nice job, Cal Raleigh. You don't get greedy, then you get rewarded. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena, who already has a stand-up double, swung on a first pitch strike and got it all the way back to the wall in left field. Doesn't swing at that garbage low and outside, which is smart by Randy. 1-0 count. Maybe we can get a walk here with Randy. Let's go. And Randy Arozarena and Luke Raley are 1 home run away from 20 each this season. We got to get that number here sooner than later. Pitch is inside. 2-0 count. Let's get the walk. Bring in a freebie. Let's go. ESPN is so slow, they haven't even updated the scoreboard. Come on, ESPN. Stop going on bathroom breaks when the Mariners are in the box. Pitch is outside. Randy just takes a look. 2 balls and 1 strike. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We want to get 20 in the first hour. We're approaching 1 hour right now. Did we get to 20? 2 away. Half of the people in the room have smashed the like button. We need the other half of y'all to help us out. All right? We got 37 in the room and only 19 likes. Come on, baby. Support your boy. It takes 1 second. If you're not going to donate and you're not going to comment, right, and you're not going to share the stream, the least you can do is smash the like button so that way we can get more people, more views, more subs, possible more donos, and hit the algorithm. Help your boy out. You're here every night anyways. You might as well support, regardless if you're a Padre fan or a Mariner fan or a baseball fan in general. Let's go. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Bases loaded with 1 out. Come on, baby. I just refreshed the page to see if, ESPN actually has workers that are competent, and apparently they do not because they are still behind in the scoreboard. It is 1-0 Mariners. Now Raleigh with a RBI single. Now we got bases loaded with 1 out. And like I told you today with Brian Wu on the mound, we're winning today. Strike 3 to Randy Arozarena. Swing the damn bat. Come on, Randy. I mean, hell, even dropping a bunt down right there would have been good. Down goes Randy Arozarena, 2 away. Next up, first baseman, Nuke Rayleigh. And I get it, the Mariners are normally a 200 hitting team, but that doesn't mean that you can go on a bathroom break every time the Mariners are going to be at bat at ESPN. But I guess that's what happens. Come on. Pitch is outside, 0-1 count. Man, these umps are just giving everything to the Padres these last 2 nights. 239 average, 19 homers, 1 homer away from 20. 19 homers and 50 ribbies on the season. A great addition for the Mariners. Pitch is inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And we'll see how long it takes for them to update the scoreboard after whoever's there gets out of the bathroom. We're at 23 likes. Half of y'all in the room have done it so far. 7 more to 30. Appreciate you. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Seattle. Bases loaded, 2 outs. RBI single by Cal Raleigh about a minute ago. 1-1 pitch. Rayleigh with a big rip. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Come on, Luke. I like Luke's hustle and everything that he brings to the team. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And this is where it's really important to have patience in the box because you can tell King is starting to lose confidence and control. And again, depending on what happens in this inning, could be the difference within him staying until 6 or 7 innings or possibly getting him out by the 5th inning. Or even the 4th. 2-2 pitch to Luke Rayleigh. Oh, there we go. Scoreboard just got updated. Someone got out of the shitter finally. They're like, oh, the Mariners have to bat. They're not going to do anything. I can take a 20-minute break in the shitter. Apparently not. 1-0 Seattle. Let's go. Let's add on. Full count to Luke Rayleigh with 2 outs, 3-2 pitch. And he fouls it off. Still battling. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's go, Luke. Hit him with a nuke. We're at 25, not 20. 75 to go. Megan with a 5er early on before you hopped into the room. Huge spot here. 3-2 pitch. Almost a balk there. Luke, yes, sir! Runners go! Bang! 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 Go, go, go! Let's go! Fuck yeah! And that's what I'm talking about. Players coming up big in the clutch. Luke Raley, home run yesterday with Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh gets an RBI. Luke Raley gets an RBI. Bang, bang, bang. 3-0 Mariners with guys at first and second. And we keep playing like this. Michael King will be exiting the game next inning or in the fifth. Let's go, M's. Fuck yeah. Nice job, Luke. That a boy. 36 of 52 RBIs have come at T-Mobile for Luke. He loves it here in Seattle. Next up, DHing for Seattle, JT, Justin Turner. Let's go. Yeah, and again, sometimes you get the same two guys that were hot the previous day, but we just need other guys to support as well, right? You guys beat our ass yesterday, 7-3 with George Kirby. You know, we had 2 solo dingers with Cal and obviously with Luke to give us a 2-0 lead. Then you guys had 2 home runs, but with Machado and Tatis, one was a 2-run blast, another one was a 3. Turner popped up, and this should be a routine out into right field. And there it is. But the damage is done. 3-0 Mariners. Magic number. 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And we don't fucking lose when Brian Wu is on the mound. Let's go, baby. Hell yeah. End of the third inning. 3-0 Mariners. Glad that ESPN's workers really care about their job updating the scoreboards. Come on, guys. Jeez Louise. Let's go. And it seems like it happens pretty often. You wouldn't think it would be as often as it is. You know, I know they got a lot of workers there and there's a lot of things that need to be updated, but I mean, I get it if it's a couple minutes behind, but there should be never a point in a game where you're behind, on the scoreboard for like 5 minutes or longer. That's ridiculous. I mean, if the servers are down, then that's one thing, but I highly doubt that was the case. Nice job by our studs, Big Dumper and Luke Raley. Way to come up big. Let's see who's up next here for the Padres and see if they can do some damage as well. Let's go to the top of the fourth. We got a 3-run lead, baby. Next up, the most pure hitter in baseball, not named Ichiro Suzuki, DHing Luis Ariz. Has only struck out twice since the All-Star game. Ridiculous. Batting second, right fielder, Fernando Tatis Jr. 0 for 1, just like Luis Ariz, but that probably won't be the case for the whole game. And batting third, Double E's favorite player, throw it far, hit it far, Jurickson Profile, besides Yu Darvish. Are those still the 2 favorite for you? Yu Darvish and Profar, or do you got anybody else that has come up into your favorites at this point? Zay in the building. Try dance up, baby. Let's go. Lauren hitting us with the 24th like Griffey. Let's go, baby. But we got to be very careful at the top of the lineup. And this lineup mirrors what the Dodgers have with Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Luis Ariz, Fernando Tatis Jr., Jurickson Profar, All-Star this year, Manny Machado, Crone Zone, and Bogarts. I mean, my God, Merrill is new, up-and-coming rook, right? Solano has been good, right? Almost batting 300 in the 8-hole. And Higgy in the 9-hole's got 16 homers. That's more than Julio. This team is loaded. Now, if they can get their pitching with Cease and Yu Darvish and King and everyone going, don't be surprised if the Padres make the World Series, the NLCS, or go on a deep run. The Dodgers and Phillies are always going to be more popular, but I guarantee if they play the Braves or the Brewers, give me the Padres. I really think that they can beat anybody in the National League, even the Dodgers or Phillies. And I know those teams are great, but it's all about who's hot and healthy at the right time. And in the last couple years, it's been the Braves and the Dodgers. And that's all they talked about, the Braves and the Dodgers. They're going to the World Series. They're going to win it all. And then what happened? Bryce Harper and the Phillies, boom shakalaka, World Series, but they lost. Last year, Braves and Phillies, Braves, Phillies, and Dodgers. What happened? Arizona Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll came out of nowhere. They went to the World Series, but they lost. American League, when we get there, we win, right? But you still got to respect what you're getting out of the National League. And is this the year in the National League that they end up getting the World Series? We'll have to wait and see. Big swing and a miss for Fernando Tatis Jr. 275 average, 15 homers in 2024. Let's go, baby. A's over the Astros. One more, baby. Let's get it. Go Athletics. Brent Rooker, big swing and a miss. Brian Wu. And it's also a big benefit that we got Brian Wu and Cal Raleigh instead of Brian Wu and Mitch Garver. I think if we had Mitch Garver catching, we probably wouldn't be at 3-0 right now because obviously we know Cal can call a game better than Mitch, okay? And I like to be able to have good defense there, obviously, behind the plate as well. Top of the fourth, 3-0 Mariners, 2 outs. Next up, hit it far, throw it far. Jurickson, throw far. Let's go, Mariners. Let's go. 278 average, 22 home runs, and 82 ribbies. They sent him to Colorado. They didn't know what they did. They brought him back. He said, I'm going to turn myself into an all-star, and that's exactly what he did. Plus, who the hell would want to be on Colorado, you know? It's like Miguel Vargas, you know, getting traded from the Dodgers to the White Sox. I don't think I've ever seen a player on social media more depressed in my lifetime than Vargas. I mean, they did him dirty. I mean, to go to any team, you got to go to the White Sox after being on the Dodgers? Golly. Pitches high and inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I mean, going from the Dodgers to the White Sox will make you want to quit and retire or pray that you get traded to another team. Hell, it might be better going to AAA than playing on the White Sox. No cap. Top of the fourth, 3-0 Mariners. 1-2 pitch from Wu. Let's go. Brian Wu wheeling and dealing, baby. 4th K for Brian Wu. And I told y'all, 4 to 7 Ks. All right? 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. Our best pitcher, better than George Kirby, better than Logan Gilbert, better than Bryce Miller, better than Luis Castillo. Brian Wu, baby. Let's go. That's our boy, our new number 1. Let's get it. Nice to be able to see him develop in the last couple years, you know, to being the 5th best pitcher, now to being the best. The biggest improvement I've seen out of a pitcher in a long, long time in the Seattle Mariner organization. You know, and I'm happy to say that, you know, even though we have problems with our hitting, Edgar Martinez is helping with that. But as far as our pitching staff is concerned, we got some of the best coaches and best farm system to develop these pitchers. And we still got a few more that are going to be coming up in the next couple years. And I can't wait to be able to see the development of like Durangelo and a few others. Let's go. Did the A's win? Fuck yeah, baby. What does that put us at in the standings if we win now? We were like 4 games back. So now that they lost, if we win today, what are we back? 2 or 3? If we win tonight? If we win, it'll be 3 games back, something like that. We're getting closer. We're getting closer, baby. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. But someone can look that up. And of course I had to put Brian Wu on the thumb. You know, I did Julio yesterday, and then he ended up going like 0 for 4. I said, hell no, not today. We're going to go with our guy, the best player, Brian Wu. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Ryan Bliss, where are you? Batting second, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Cole Young, Colt Emerson, where are you? And batting third, playing third baseman, 9-hole, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. Athletics 5, Astros 4. I love it. Yankees 4, Royals 3 and 11. 3.5 when we win. Let's go. Good shit, man. That's why we just got to be able to stay present and stay positive. You know, there's definitely a lot of Mariner fans that gave up and they're like, I'm only watching Hawks or I'm only watching football, you know, but again, you know, we don't put in all this time, energy, and effort every single year, you know, to do 150 plus games out of 162 to give up now, you know. It's over when we say it's over, not when the media says it's over. 207 average, 14 homers, 39 ribbies for Polo. Let's go. And no Seager, like Reflect was saying, with the injury, so that gives us a better chance. They got Adolis Garcia and a few others, right? But not having Seager healthy in the lineup is a huge advantage for us. Hopefully we can capitalize. Bottom of the fourth, 3-0 Seattle. Nobody on, nobody out. 2-1 pitch to Polo. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Altuve got removed. From what? Garbage can? What happened? Buzzer? Injury? What happened to him? 2-2 pitch. Michael King with the K. We'll give him some love. Michael King, 12-8 record, 3.10 ERA. One of their better pitchers. Cease is better. Yu Darvish has been hurt, but they got themselves a nice little squad. And again, if they can get hot and healthy at the right time, don't be surprised. And I said this at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and now here towards the end of the year. This is the biggest sleeper team in baseball. You know, kind of just like what the Phillies were doing 2 years ago and the Diamondbacks last year. It would not shock me one bit. Even if they made it all the way to the World Series, I know it would be shocking because everyone assumes it's going to be the Dodgers and Phillies, but we assumed it was going to be the Dodgers and Braves the last 2 years, and they didn't even get there. Like the Phillies and the Diamondbacks did. So again, getting hot and healthy at the right time, Padres are going to have a shot. And then even the Diamondbacks are starting to gain a little bit of ground in that division as well, with the Diamondbacks, the Padres, and the Dodgers. 1-1 pitch to JP. Pitches high and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, he got injured. Well, I don't like Altuve, but I don't pray injuries on anybody. You know, even guys that cheat that are not really that liked by most people. JP, little blooper. 2 away. Next up, third baseman, Hollywood, Josh Rojas had a nice barehanded grab at third, throw to first for an out, just like this photo here. Hopefully we can get something out of his bat here tonight. We're at 25, not 20. 4 more likes to get to 30. If you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Popped up to Merrill. There we go. End of the 4th inning, 3-0 Mariners. And we're at 25, not 20. He was up next here for the Padres. Next up for San Diego, 0 for 1, third baseman, Manny Machado. Batting second in the 5-hole, second baseman, Crone zone, Jake Cronenworth. And batting third in the 6-hole, shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Let's go Mariners. I know Reflect doesn't really care about photos that much. He just wants to make sure he represents and supports for me and Paisley. But with that being said, you know, we can always do photos at the end, but I'll sprinkle in some here. And we can obviously do some Huskies. Little Jonah Coleman. Already a key leader on this team already. And it's a little weird that we're having the rivalry games early when the weather is good this weekend, like Civil War and the Apple Cup, Washington State, Washington, Oregon State, even though it's not called the Civil War anymore, which is stupid. But I don't know. It kind of feels out of place. Like, you know, normally this is the last game of the season for us. But now with all the shifting and being in the Big Ten, you know, and obviously Oregon State not even in a division with Washington State. They're in the Pac-2. It feels a little weird. I wish they would have invited, you know, the Cougs and the Beavers to join the Big Ten. I honestly think it would be a good addition, you know, and obviously the Big Ten says, well, they're not good enough. They're not going to make enough money for us. But I think that, you know, if you put them there, you know, that they could actually do a pretty good job. Randy Arozarena, diving catch for Brian Wu. That's the type of effort that we expect out of Randy game in and game out. Robbing Manny Machado of a double, possibly a triple. Wow. Look at Randy here. 113.4 exit velo. That's a hit 99 times out of 100. Wow. That's definitely a double, maybe even a triple there. Great extension by Randy. And we've been getting on him lately for being lazy, running to first, lazy in the outfield, lazy in the box and not swinging. At least he's got a double early on today, right? And then he ended up playing at least some defense for Brian Wu today. I'm glad that he's focused here. Way to bring that electricity on the defense, baby. Next up, the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. 250 average, 16 homers, and 78 ribbies here in 2024 for the Crone Zone. Last 21 games, 3 errors, 996 fielding percentage. Julio's there. Routine play, 2 away. Lined out to center. Next up for the Padres, shortstop Xander Bogaerts. We got the Rangers and the Yankees. I mean, it's tough. It's not going to be easy for us. But I'm definitely looking forward to doing at least a game or two, between us and the Rangers, and a game or two against the Yankees. Obviously, I got NFL games, Oregon Ducks on Saturday, NFL games on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, reaction videos on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So we'll have to kind of see. But again, I can always do reaction videos in the morning, and then we can always do a game at night. So we're going to be trying to pump out a stream. I mean, pretty much I work every day. I don't really take days off unless I have like a mental health breakdown or I'm like sick. But luckily I haven't been sick or had a mental health breakdown in over a year and a half since, me and Paisley have been together in this new situation, in this new living situation. So, and I don't mind. I mean, when you end up working hard for 12 years and you finally are able to do something that is your dream full time, and this is my 3rd year full time, but it took 12 years to get to this point for me to be able to do this for the rest of my life. I would say the sacrifice was definitely worth it. Even though that Jordan rookie now is worth 20 to 30,000, I'll be able to make that and above and beyond that, obviously in the future, and I obviously already have, but sometimes you got to sacrifice very important things that are expensive for your dreams and goals. And I would do it all over again if I could. Top of the 5th, 3-0 Mariners. Nobody on, 2 outs. 1-2 pitch to Bogaerts. Easy pop out there. Who has it? Julio or Randy? Julio says, I got it. Go to the bottom of the 5th, 3-0 Mariners. Next up for Seattle, 0-for-1 with a run and a K, right fielder Victor Robles. And if it's me right here, I drop down the bunt right here in these first couple pitches. I mean, you can go for a swing and get a base hit too, but I think going for a bunt here would definitely take King from surprise. And he's already attempted a bunt or two already. Go for a bunt here and we can get a single and get a rally started. Batting second, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go Mariners. I'm good. Like I said, I've only got to a point where I've lost my voice years ago when I was a fucking madman and I was grinding and I was doing like 2 or 3 football games on a Sunday. I would do the morning game, an afternoon game, and then Sunday night. Or I would do, multiple games on like a Saturday. And again, the way that I call a game, depending on who's playing, sometimes, the passion and the energy comes out and I'm fucking exhausted and a 3-4 hour stream feels like 7 hours to me. And sometimes it takes a little time to recover, but luckily my voice didn't go away. Usually I'll have like some Ricola or some like Halls, and they say you're only supposed to eat like 1. Nah, I'll throw like 3 in, and then eat like a couple, and see how, obviously the voice feels and see how it goes from there. But luckily, I didn't have any issues with my voice being gone. And the longest I think my voice has been gone ever was like a day, maybe 2, where it was a little raspy and had to recover and whatnot. So I try not to do too much like over yelling, for a long period of time. because that's how your voice ends up disappearing. But sometimes when you end up watching your favorite team, whether it be the Mariners or the Hawks or the Ducks or the Huskies, sometimes it just naturally comes out. Also, when you have like 10,000 people watching and you're the only one streaming the Duck game against Boise State, and you gain like 30, 40 subs, have 200 people in the room or more at any given time, and you end up having almost 10,000 views, sometimes that'll do it. So, bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Mariners. Check swing for Victor Robles, 1 ball and no strikes. Go for the bunt, baby. You got to make sure you think outside the box. Do something that they don't think you're going to do. I still believe he can get a single by swinging, but a bunt would definitely be a nice kind of surprise here if he gets the right pitch to do it. Pitch is outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, when I go to Ducks games like Megan, when she went to Seattle, I didn't have it for a week, but when if I end up going to a game and I'm there, like especially like a Ducks game, yeah, my voice might be gone for a day, maybe 2. But also I recognize that this is my full-time job and my, my identity is my voice. Obviously people know what I look like, but it's all about, having that tonality and being able to have that presentation and that unique voice that no one else has. And, again, I have to make sure I protect my voice to the fullest. 2-2 pitch to Robles. Pitch is outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. No bunt on this at-bat, but maybe his next one in the 7th or 8th. I would have liked to see him drop that bunt down, but maybe we'll get him to do it again at some point. There's a walk, baby. Yes, sir. Victor Robles to first, and he didn't get hit by a pitch this time around. I like that. Next up, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. Trident's up. This would be a great time for a Julio homer. Just saying, sports gods. Pitch is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. And right now, the Padres have 0 runs, 0 hits, 1 error. And the Mariners have 3 runs, 3 hits, and 0 errors. Bryan Woo, if you didn't believe that he's not the best pitcher on the Mariners, things like this, will make you believe otherwise. George Kirby and Logan Gilbert have been there longer, and they definitely earned our respect. But if you're looking at based off this year record and how they've been playing as of late, it just seems like the players play harder for Bryan Woo than the other pitchers. They definitely play hard for Logan and with George as well. I feel not as much for Bryce and Luis. Those are on the bottom end, of the pitching staff. It seems like those guys need a little bit more to get wins, but I'm really excited about the development about Bryan Woo. And again, probably the best increase in talent and development out of any Mariner pitcher that we've had in the last few years. George has gotten better. Logan's gotten better. And Woo went from being the 5th to being the best. Yeah, I can't wait for Oregon State as well. But it just kind of stinks it's not at the end of the year, because Oregon State's not in the Big Ten. Hopefully one day if they, add on a few more teams, I would love for Washington State and Oregon State to get added on. It would be good for our rivalries, for the Huskies, for the Ducks, for the Trojans and Bruins. We've been playing each other for years. Double play. Come on, Julio, run harder to first base. Effort. Even when it looks like you're out, the throw could be wild. Run harder. Here we go. Well, like I mentioned earlier, Cal Raleigh, 89 home runs, already passed Rudy York and Johnny Bench. Look at that. Most home runs by a catcher in the first 4 seasons. He's only 3 fucking away. 4 more, and he's number 1 of all time. Told y'all, this guy's the best player on the Mariners. And again, we got to make sure we lock him up no matter what the price. $200 million, $300 million, leadership, catching ability. I get it. We got Harry Ford waiting in the wings, but Harry Ford is not going to be as good as Cal Raleigh when he gets called up, period. He'll end up being a Buster Posey type of guy, and he'll be good, but he won't be the same type of catcher, than Cal Raleigh will be. It would be a big loss if you don't re-sign Cal and make sure you give him an extension. But again, with his agent, with Boras and the money. I mean, he'll probably end up getting a lot of money wherever he goes, but hopefully he stays in Seattle or takes less money to make a legacy here. But it all depends up to Cal. I know he loves it in Seattle, and I know he would rather, get paid here and stay here. But again, it is a business, so you don't really know. But out of all the players that I've seen play for the Mariners in the last 20 years, this is the most deserving player to give a big contract to, even more than Julio. Julio we overpaid, or we tried to get like a value deal on having him extend early so it didn't get to a point where he may leave and you wanted to lock him up for like 10, 15 years, right? But Cal Raleigh is more deserving than Julio. But hopefully Julio will bounce back next year and be a little bit more consistent and join that 30-30 club again. 2-2 pitch. And hopefully Cal can get his batting average up from 200 to 220 to 230 to 260. And if that happens, as Paisley comes in here, as I see her tail right in the background here. Miss Daddy? She does. Pitch is low. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Big Dumper. Go Cal. Cal. Clutch, baby. Stand-up double for Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Clutch hitting in the beginning of the game, clutch hitting in the middle of the game, clutch hitting at the end of the game. Great defensive leader, right? Great leadership. Makes all of the pitching staff better. Top 2, top 3 catcher overall in baseball. Adley Rutschman will always be more popular and have a 300 batting average most of the time, but not as many home runs and ribbies, okay? Salvador Perez, he can bat 300, right, and have a higher batting average, but he's not better than Cal Raleigh. Salvador Perez was a great player, still is a good player, but he's kind of getting to the end of his career. At some point, we got to get some respect on Cal Raleigh's name. Let's go. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Too bad we can't have Brian Wu pitch every day. Let's go, baby. Time is called. Let's see where we're at on the likes. We're at 27. 3 more to get to 30. If you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help your boy out, get to 30. We want to hit 30 to 50 overall. We're at 27 right now. Randy? Cal can't really get away on the baseline with all his momentum there. He is out, but we still have a 3-0 lead. No hitter for Brian Wu. Let's go. That's some good stuff. And before Elliott even brought it up, I didn't even realize we were at a no-hitter. I knew it was, it didn't really feel like they had anything, but, sometimes when you're calling a game, even if you're at 0, you assume they have at least a hit or 2. And then you look down at the scoreboard and realize they don't even have 1. Great job by Brian Wu. Let's go. Let's get that no-hitter, baby. Complete game. Let's go. Let's see who's up here for the Padres in the top of the 6th. That's what happens when you put Brian Wu on the thumb and the sports gods see that shit. They're like, you could have put Julio on there because he's popular. Nah. Brian Wu. And we're getting rewarded for it. Let's go. Next up for the Padres, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder Jackson Merrill. Batting second, 0 for 1, first baseman Donovan Solano. One of the best 8-hole hitters, batting right around 290, 300. And batting third in the 9-hole with 16 home runs, one of the highest numbers in the 9-hole in the entire MLB, catcher Kyle Higashioka. Higgy. Let's go. Yeah, let's look at the stat line for the pitchers here real quick. Usually do that around halfway through the game. All right, Michael King. So far for Michael King, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks. 90 pitches, 57 strikes, 3.06 ERA. Take a look at our guy. You might have heard of him. His name's Brian Wu. What are we looking at with Brian? Mariner Moose fucking loves it. 5 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 4 Ks. 51 pitches, 39 strikes, 2.25 ERA. Is that good? Damn right it is. I know he's only at 51. I mean, I don't think that they will allow him to do that, but if he can go to, 7th inning, 8th inning, I mean, you might as well just have him keep going. Let him make history. If today's the day that he gets his first no-hitter, let him try to, achieve that, that feat instead of pulling him in the 7th or the 8th, Sometimes you got to let your guys, make a memory, because again, how often is Brian Wu going to be in this position in his career? Maybe a handful of times. And out of those handful of times, he's going to get, someone to get a hit off of him. And it'll go from a no-hitter to a 1-hitter to a 2-hitter or a 3-hitter. So I don't know if today's the magical day. I'm not saying that we're going to have a Felix Hernandez perfect game, but he's on pace. I mean, we're already in the 6th inning. Keep him going. Definitely need some quick outs here. Like a 3-pitch out. 1, 1, 2, 3. Bang, bang, bang. Pop up, ground out, pop up. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jackson Merrill. I know. You're like the best hitting team, and it shows you how good Brian Wu is. Rosarina is there. 1 away. And obviously with all of the ups and the downs, and we've had more downs than ups, it would be an amazing night, regardless, if we make the playoffs or don't make the playoffs, if we can see a magical night. Because again, we don't have any no-hitters this year. And obviously it would be so fitting to do it against the best hitting team in baseball and have Brian Wu do it at home. It'll be a memory that he would have for the rest of his life. Or even if it ends up being like a 1-hitter, would be great. But you never know. Magic could be in the air tonight. That 113.4 would have been that hit for sure. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Defense has been great. Especially with that Randy Rosarina diving catch. That would have been a hit 99 times out of 100. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 291 average, 6 homers, and 31 ribbies for Donovan Solano. One of the highest rated, 8-hole hitters, just approaching the 300 average. You don't get too many 8-hole hitters batting 290, 300. 1-2 pitch, smoke him. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Woo. James Paxton, he's retiring after this year too. And I ended up, going to the bobblehead day when the eagle landed on his shoulder. And I ended up seeing a 1-0 game against the Royals. He was wicked. In that game, I think he had like 11 Ks when we beat the Royals in Bobby Witt Jr.'s rookie year. I believe it was that year. Either that year or maybe before then, but I don't know. I've seen the Royals, I've seen the Cardinals, Yankees multiple times. Orioles this year on July 4th, and we got the dub. Top of the 6th, 3-0 Mariners, nobody on, 2 outs. We got a no-hitter going here for Brian Wu. 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the 3rd. The Higgy, 224 average, 16 homers, and 43 ribbies. And I would assume that's the highest home run total for a 9-hole hitter in the league. I'm not sure if someone can look that up, but I highly doubt there's anyone else that's in the 9 hole that has 16 home runs or more. That's impressive. More than Julio. 0-1 pitch. Wild pitch behind the backstop. And again, if we had Mitch Garver catching, this doesn't happen. You know, it's because we got Cal Raleigh, and this is a 2-game set, you know, obviously being interleague. And we got our ass kicked yesterday, 7-3. I could only imagine if Brian Wu gets a no-hitter or one-hitter here, how it would make us feel. Come on, Wu. 1-1 pitch. Popped up. There we go. Let's get this no-hitter, baby. 18 up, 18 down. You know, we want to be able to add names to Paxton and Chris Bosio and Randy Johnson, Felix Hernandez. And I think a lot of us would have assumed, oh, it's going to be Logan Gilbert. It'll be George Kirby, maybe Castillo or Miller, you know, since Wu is, you know, the 5 guy for a couple years. But now he's our 1. And he's been lights out. And hopefully history can happen here tonight. And not only that, at home against arguably the best hitting team in baseball. Crazy. It's because Elliott's here. Because normally when Elliott, you know, he'll pop in and leave, you know, but he's not usually here for the whole game. And maybe that's why the sports gods are like, okay, you got your double E in the building, you know, and obviously they got the win yesterday. And it's not like we're trying to like rub it in, you know, obviously you guys have like 20 fucking more wins than us. You know, we're only 1 game above 500, but it would be an amazing feat to be able to have that under our belt. You know, regardless if we make it to the wild card or not, I want to be able to have a memory that no one can take away. And it's cool that when you can share a memory with a bunch of people watching something special happen right in front of your very eyes. Well, that's getting almost too greedy, though. You're going for a perfect game. You know, no hitter, you know, like we're there. Like once we get a little bit closer, obviously when you talk about it more, it's like you almost jinx them and then it ends up, you know, not happening. You know, but again, perfect game, you know, no hitter, perfect game, you know, you try to get like to that Felix Hernandez level, you know, again, maybe that will be something that Brian Wu will do in his career before it's done, but I'm not sure if we're going to get that tonight, but you never know. I mean, everything is in play right now. If it ended up being a fucking complete perfect game, I would lose my goddamn mind. I might just jump out the window into the backyard if that happens. $10 holla. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little cactus jack, bang, bang. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We're at 35, 65 to go. Yeah. Well, luckily it's not like 2-story or 3-story, so it's not like I'd be injuring myself. Bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Mariners. And the Mariner fan base deserves to have at least one really big positive memory from this season, regardless of what happens. And again, if Wu ends up, completing the feat, I guarantee Wu jerseys are going to start being a hot commodity if they're not already. You know, Cal Raleigh, it took a kind of a couple years for people to like stop buying Julio jerseys and to start buying jerseys of someone else. And I'm starting to see Cal getting represented, you know, by kids and adults a little bit more. If Brian Wu ends up getting a perfect game or end up getting a no-hitter, there's going to be, you know, a lot of people that are going to be looking like, oh, I was going to get a pitcher jersey, or maybe an old school jersey like Randy, Edgar, Ichiro, Griffey, or maybe I was going to go Julio or Cal. And then now, you know, if that happens, instead of getting Logan and George, right, because I don't think people are going to go for Miller or Castillo, it would be Logan or George getting first dibs on a jersey. Maybe Brian Wu will be the guy where we can see some Brian Wu jerseys in the crowd. I would love that. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Luke Rayleigh. Judah in the building. What's good? Let's go, Luke. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're a few away, and there's a walk. Where are we at? We're at 28. We need 2 more. 2 more to get to 30. Let's get it, baby. Luke Rayleigh to first with the walk with nobody out. Next up, DHing for the Mariners, Justin Turner. How are you, bro? Pitch is inside. 1-0 count. Unfortunately, nobody cares about the parlay, Danny, but you. You know, for us Mariner fans, we just want to make sure we get this dub, but we want history. Runner at first with nobody out. 1-0 pitch. Pitch on the corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to JT. Vamos, Mariners. Anna from Mexico fucking loves it. We get representation all over the globe, and it's been increasing quite a bit. I know I was going over the kind of some of the, we gained a couple subs here today too. Gained 2 subs tonight. We're at 89 to get to 20,600. Shout out to the 2 new subs here tonight. But we got United States, 74.5%, Japan, 7.5%, Mexico, 2.5%, Anna, appreciate you, Venezuela, 2.2%, Dominican Republic, Canada, Taiwan, Philippines, Colombia, Brazil, Australia, and that's just to name a couple. Let's go. Vamos, Mariners. 2-0 pitch to JT. Pitch is outside, 3 balls and no strikes. PJ in the building, what's good? Nice to be able to see, the representation all over the globe. Yeah, more John keeps pitching like this. You're going to have to get less John or maybe even little John. There we go. He's losing control, baby. Another walk. Runners at first and second with no outs. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman Jorge Polanco. Yeah. That was Elliott's in his little John voice. Dave Chappelle, which I need to go back and rewatch at some point. I've been kind of meaning to do it. Oh, bunt attempt by Polo. 0-1 count. Yeah. Omar in the building. What's good? Let's go Mariners. No hitter. Got to keep it going. Oh, we appreciate that. Brits out there in Connecticut. We got fans, Odin's from New York. So it's nice to be able to have a nice blend of people in the Pacific Northwest, people in the Midwest, people in the Northeast, people in the South, and then people across the globe. We got a nice family here. Let's go M's. And just a few weeks ago, we had about 2,500 regular watchers. Just within the last maybe week or two, based off the NFL reaction videos and the Mariners, now we have 4,000. We've almost doubled what we were getting before. Over 4,000 regular watchers. That's good. And hopefully we can get that up to 5 and beyond. 1-0 pitch, bunt attempt. Well, we've only had Robles try to bunt and Polo, but they haven't been able to contact. But I like, it's like sometimes you got to talk the strategy into existence, and hopefully Dan is getting my text messages so that way that they can actually implement getting the guys over. And again, if you end up dropping a bunt down with 2 guys on, if the throw is wild to first, who knows what could happen? You might end up actually getting a double out of it and scoring a couple runs off a simple bunt. But again, I think a lot of teams are afraid to bunt because they don't practice it like they used to in the 80s and 90s. Bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Seattle. Runners at first and second. No outs. More John looking like less John. Pretty soon, Little John. Chopped behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We got Hawaii. We got Florida. We got Iowa. 2-2 pitch. Popped up, Polo behind the plate. And even though I wish I was actually at the ballpark tonight witnessing this history, it's pretty cool that, we're able to share this moment together. And especially since NFL season, obviously is underway, I have to be able to manage my time between college football, NFL reaction videos, and live streams. But I'm really happy that Woo's on the mound today to make some history. Here we go. Wild pitch. We didn't even need to bunt him over. More John going to be no job John pretty soon. We love it. Let's go Mariners. 89 subs to 20,600. Let's go. Popped up by Polo. And shout out to Double E and all the Saints fans, obviously supporting on through the reaction videos. That Saints reaction video definitely is hitting the algorithm very nicely. It's got way more views than all the other ones. We're at 3,500 views on that just one reaction, and I know that every week that I do the Saints, we're going to end up getting a good response, even though this weekend will be tough against the Dallas Cowboys. But if they win that game, it'll silence a lot of the haters, because I think most people feel that, they just beat the Panthers because they're the worst team in football. They can't, do this against good teams. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out real quick to see, and again, the Cowboys will be favored because they're at home, and Dak plays much better at home than he does on the road. And when you're going on the road and playing Cleveland, it got a little tough for them, and you didn't really get the big numbers out of Dak and CD. So I assume that we're going to get that this weekend, but I wouldn't count the Saints out completely. Just like with Tampa playing the Lions on the road, I think that if the Saints can, prevent a lot of turnovers and can kind of manage the clock. Same thing with Tampa, and we can get off to a fast start. I don't think it's impossible to think the Saints could upset Dallas or Tampa Bay can't beat Detroit, even though both of us are on the road. It's going to be hard, but not impossible. Plus we want revenge from the 2 losses to the Lions last year, and our team's better this year. We don't have Antoine Winfield Jr., which stinks, so we're going to have to outscore them. And the same thing with the Saints. You're going to have to get going with AK-41. Carr's going to have to be more efficient than Dak, and you're going to have to get some sack lunches and picks, and maybe Taylor with another 2 or 3 sack lunches from the corner position. But the NFC South always gets slept on. And the 2 teams that scored the most points in week 1, New Orleans Saints, 47, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 37. And again, they were against the Panthers and the Commandos. I get it, but both teams look like they are off to a good start, that they could do some damage this year. Bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Seattle. Runners at second and third. 1 out. More John looking like less John. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Come on, baby. Get your swag back, baby. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. More John can't hit the strike zone. But I'll tell you what, if the Saints and Bucks both win this weekend, it'll be, a big, big shock to a lot of people. And again, both teams probably only have like a 20% chance to win. A lot of good shit would have to happen for both of those teams to win. Probably, actually, for one team to win, it'd probably be 20%. For both, it'd be like probably 5% or 10%. It'd be very shocking, but you never know. It's all about execution, turnovers. JP! There we go! All the way to right field. Go, go, go! Stand up. Bases clearing. Double to J.P. Crawford. Get your swag back, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Way to bring that electricity back, baby. 5-0 Mariners with Brian Wu with a no-hitter. Let's go! Next up, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Seems like a special night tonight. Something crazy. Good for JP. I'm happy for him because he's been shitty for quite some time. Broken back for Rojas. Throw to first. 2 away. It's been kind of a shitty year for George, JP, and Julio. And if George, JP, and Julio were actually on, we probably would have 15 more wins right now, maybe even more than that. And again, hopefully, we can get more consistency out of those guys. And I'm not saying it's only those guys' fault, but again, George, Julio, and JP, big key instrumental pieces of this team that haven't really, stepped up enough with the consistency. We get flashes out of those guys. And obviously, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Luis Castillo are to blame as well as Scott Service. There's a lot of people to blame, pretty much up and down the whole fucking roster, right? But there's certain guys that we count on more that it was kind of shocking on how, bad they were, specifically JP and Julio. Not so much George. George is going to go up and down. He's always going to be a top 3 pitcher. He's going to be borderline all-star every year. But again, when you have like a 500 record, your ERA is good, but you get no fucking run support. It can get depressing at times. Or if you got Mitch Garver that you got to fucking throw to, which George did a lot this year. I mean, imagine if George had Cal Raleigh. Probably would have 3 or 4 more wins instead of having to pitch to fucking Garver. So, bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Next up, Victor Robles. Let's go, Victor. Thank you. I appreciate that. I take a lot of pride. Gus Johnson is, one of the heroes that I look up to. But again, just because you're a pro in sports doesn't mean you're going to slay on the microphone. It takes a special individual to be able to have the right skill set and to be able to practice and to be able to put in that hard work. You got to have a special kind of voice, tonality. You got to be able to put in a lot of that work. And unfortunately, you get a lot of these people that are legends on the field or on the court, wherever you're playing, or on the ice, and then they just assume that they're going to be able to do it. And then they find out real quick they're not very good at what they do. And it's going to take a long time to be able to get to a certain point. And even if that ends up being a few years, you're not going to be as good as some of the GOATs and the legends. Like Jim Nantz and what he does on CBS, Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt, in college football. You could argue that's the best duo in sports. I've never heard Gus and Joel have a bad game, and it used to be Gus and Charles Davis, and those guys were great too. But again, I have specific favorites and I also like the OG grandpas, the Dave Niehaus, the Harry Careys, the old school, OGs. Keith Jackson, used to do Pac-10 games, right? Vin Scully, everyone has a style. But again, if you're going to be like 30, 40 years old, and you got to make sure you got something, like different about you. And obviously sometimes you get the older grandpa kind of voice that's soothing for like baseball and whatnot. But if you're doing something else, you got to make sure that you got the it factor. And I saw that Brady got kind of ripped up by a lot of the fan base on not being very good in his first game. But it's his first game, in the NFL in the regular season. And it's going to take time for him to be able to find his rhythm, his cadence, so that way he's not over talking. And to be, it's not something that you're going to be able to figure out right away. But I think that he'll be better and he'll be able to have some insight in the game that other players do not. We already know Brady has the work ethic, and obviously he's super intelligent. It's just now being able to put the intelligence in the words and to sound good and not to be, kind of cringy to some people like Tony Romo, even though I don't mind Romo that much. Big swing and a miss, and he is out. We leave one stranded. 5-0 Mariners. Brian Wu with the no-hitter. Let's keep it going. Let's get it, baby. We're in the top of the 7th. The Padres are one of the best teams in baseball. Hitting wise, right? Record wise, 73 and 72 for the Mariners. Not good. Padres 82 and 64. My God, 0 runs, 0 hits, 1 error. Seattle Mariners Mariners, 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and Brian Wu is still wheeling and dealing. Way to get him some run support. And again, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. I told you Brian Wu was going to win today, and we might actually have some history when it's all said and done. Let's go. And there's a lot of Mariner fans that are going to wake up tomorrow morning and they're going to figure out, like, wow, I definitely dropped the ball by skipping the Mariner game. Oh, I'm a big Madden and Summerall guy too. Those are my favorites. Growing up as a kid watching Fox, like Warren Sapp trying to chase down Brett Favre, and Madden and Summerall going through the the vibing of the regular NFL routine. It just kind of depends on who you like. But again, I feel like sports broadcasting and sports podcast is at the very worst. ESPN is garbage. It's no longer a good show or network anymore. Or like SportsCenter, you even see shows like the Pat McAfee show, right? And even Good Morning Football. They need to do research on like the decline of both of those shows, because at one point those were like the only shows that I could watch. Now I rarely watch Pat McAfee show, and if I do, only maybe 10 minutes or 20. And then with Good Morning Football, it's almost unwatchable. Like their new cast every year, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. When they had Kay and Nate with Schrager and obviously Kyle Brandt, that was, the goated lineup. And then obviously Nate got promoted to CBS, well-deserved, because he was the best one on that staff besides Kyle Brandt. Obviously Kay had, the pretty looks, but incredibly biased for the Saints and the Bears. And she didn't really treat employees very well, like Will Selva. And I feel that she felt like she had to be catered to, then they gave her the boot. Now she has her own Up and Adams show, but who the fuck watches that? Nobody, So again, she's pretty, but I don't like the way that she treated people. And ultimately, I think that's why they gave her the boot. And they brought in Jamie Erdahl instead. And, Jamie and I might not be as cute, to some people, or sexy as Kay. But again, it's not all about looks. It's how about you treat people as well. Just because you're good looking, you're not going to be able to get away with everything forever. And they made the change. But now with no Kay and Nate there, the show is not good. And even McCourty, when he was there, it was a downgrade from Nate. But then if you compare him to the new guy that they got, the new guy stinks, and again, McCourty was a lot better. But again, they moved the show from New York to California. McCourty didn't want to move his family to California. Otherwise, he'd still be on the show. But it sucks because I love football and I want to be able to watch shows like that. But there's just so many shitty shows out there. They're not good anymore. Sad. Top of the 7th, 5-0 Seattle. Nobody on. Brian Wu retired all 19 batters faced. Keep rolling. Next up is Fernando Tatis Jr. Pitches inside. 1-0 count. Number 1 in batting in Major League Baseball. Brian Wu says, I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to make history. I'm trying to make a name for myself. Getting a rise out is very rare. 1-0 pitch. Shit. Fuck. Unbelievable. Back. Gone. Son of a bitch. Fernando Tatis Jr. strikes again. The no-hitter is gone. We're still going to win, but that's fucking unfortunate. Damn it. Nice job by Fernando. You're a great player. You homered yesterday as well. Exit velo 115.6. Boo. We wanted history. Next up, left fielder, Jurickson, Profar. Hit it far, throw it far. Jurickson, Profar. Damn it. We were so close from, making some history. And that's why, when individuals were talking about perfect game, I thought that's a little ridiculous. We're lucky to even have something like that with like Felix Hernandez. Like once, when you got guys like Randy Johnson and other legends from back in the day, just a simple no-hitter, you got to start somewhere. And then maybe a perfect game later in the career. But we don't get to see either one. But we're still going to get this dub. But it would have been extra sweet if Wu could have ended up making some history. Still end up having a very solid start. But I would assume that this will be his last inning now since he gave up the home run. And then they'll bring in Troy Taylor for the 8th, Andres Munoz for the 9th, and goodbye, Padres. We're going to tie it up 1-1. Double E feeling himself now. "5-1 Mariners." Profar, fuck! Another hit. Son of a bitch. Yeah, definitely this is the last inning for Wu now. Now they're starting to rough him up a little bit. Profar double to right. Back-to-back hits. Tatis with a solo dinger. Profar. And that's what happens when you're the best hitting team in baseball. You got an insane all-star lineup, and eventually, they're going to get something off you when you start losing a little bit of that velocity. Next up, third baseman Manny Machado. Don't get any ideas here. We don't want it to be 5-3 in a matter of a couple minutes. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. I actually want the Padres to make it and go deep. I think it would, not just for Elliott, but, they're not in the American League. They're in the National League. And we want to see the Phillies and Dodgers push to the limit. Or if they go against the Braves and the Brewers, they can beat the brakes off of those teams. So I don't, like I said, San Diego, to me, I don't have any beef with them. I recognize the talent that they have. And, again, they are the sleeper team in 2024. Kind of feel like the Phillies from a couple years ago or the Diamondbacks from last year. I'll take a look here in a second. Takes a strike there to Machado, 0-1 count. We need 2 more likes to be able to get to 30. We got at least 10 people in the room that haven't done it yet. Do your boy a solid. There we go. 1 more. We're at 29, and we need 1 more to get to 30. Help your boy out. Let's try to get to 30 here before this inning ends. Megan with a tenner. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. Appreciate Megan, Captain Oreo for the donos. We're at 48:52 to go. Yeah. Well, if the Astros make it, obviously that'll be the most dangerous team. That's not the high end. It's not, the Guardians or, the Orioles or the Yankees. That would be the team that could be, I'm not even really sure if the Astros are a sleeper team. They're always good. It's just that they started off the year shitty, and now they've been extremely hot as of late. So even though they lost tonight against the Athletics, but, post All-Star break, that's kind of the equivalent to the Padres in the National League. I'll agree to that. But also they deactivated a couple players and took the hit in the salary cap, and that made all the difference. I mean, just imagine if the Mariners were smart enough to do that, with Haniger or someone else. Garver and Haniger, if they deactivated them, what could have maybe been, But again, Garver and Haniger have been playing a little bit better, as of late when they had opportunities. But sometimes you got to make a tough decision, and you got to deactivate guys or figure out what you want to do with the money. But we already know how the Mariner ownership is. They want to profit. They don't really care about winning. It's all about the profits from the beer and the jerseys, the parking, the ticket sales, the foam fingers. Two-two pitch from Wu to Machado. Strike his ass out. Recover, Wu. Got him. Five Ks for Wu. I was thinking 4-7, and he's right on point. Sucks that complete perfect game, no hitter is not going to happen. But still, an amazing performance. To be able to shut out the best hitting team in baseball all the way to the 7th inning. I mean, how many pitchers can say that this year against a team like this? Not many. Has anybody hit a no-hitter on the Padres this year? I don't believe none, right? What's the best outing that you've seen against your team this year, Elliot? Has anyone gotten a one-hitter or a two-hitter against you this year? Even that's probably pretty rare. Especially with Arise. He's only struck out twice since the All-Star break. Tatis, Machado, Bogarts. I mean, Christ, you guys got an All-Star team. Even the guys at the bottom end of the lineup are good. Big swing and a miss to Crone zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Get out of this inning, and then we can bring in Troy Taylor for the 8th, and then Andres Munoz in the 9th, baby. Crone zone 0 for 2. Let's make it 0 for 3. Finish strong, Brian. Finish strong is our number 1. And it's like the only guy that Mariner fans have confidence in the mound, or on the mound, excuse me. You know, even though Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are good, I don't think a lot of us have confidence in those guys every start. Pitch is high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, we feel more confidence in them than Bryce and Louise, but you know, it just seems like as of late, you know, Logan and George have been getting fucked up as of late. Not getting run support and also getting fucked up on their pitches. But not Brian Wu. Last, 3, 4, 5 starts have been magnificent. 2-2 pitch. Crush that one foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we'll get some photos up here momentarily. All right, we hit 30. We're at 33 now. 7 more to get to 40. Let's get to 40 before the game ends. Yeah, Dan Casey has got good play breakdowns and whatnot. I'm always looking for like Baldy's breakdowns and a few other individuals on the college football side and the NFL side. I can't read everything that you sent me right now, but I will after the stream is over, Matt. Keep grinding. 2-2 pitch. How is that not strike 3? That was close. 3 balls and 2 strikes. All right, enjoy your walk. Finish strong, Woo. Top of the 7th, 5-1 Mariners. Runner at second, 2 outs, 3-2 pitch. Would have been strike 3 right down the middle, crush foul. And we're lucky that we got Cal Raleigh catching for Woo instead of Mitch Garver, because it would probably be 5-1 the other way if we had Garver. Let's go. Come on, Woo, finish strong. Count is full, 3-2 pitch to Crone zone. Pitch is high and he walked him. Fuck. First walk of the night. I mean, he's just trying to get out of this fucking inning now. A little rattled after that home run. Now they have 1 run, 2 hits, and an error now. My buddy ended up getting floor seats to Green Day, and they're going to end up doing a lot of their old sets. 5th row. I'm super excited for my bro. Good job, Brian. But they're going to do all the sets from Dookie and American Idiot. I'm a little jealous. Nice job, Brian. What an outing. Wish it could have been that special outing, but I knew complete game, perfect game was asking too much, but a no-hitter would have been great. But still, he's been electric. 5-1 Mariners. Runners at first and second with 2 outs, and I would assume we bring in Troy Taylor, and yes, we are. My favorite bullpen player on the Mariners in years. besides Andres Munoz. Let's go. He's electric. Let's go, M's. .2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run. Now that was earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and everything just happened in the 7th inning. But I mean, 6 clean innings. There's not very many pitchers that could do that against the #1 hitting team in baseball. Appreciate you, Captain Oreo. And then once we get into a commercial break after this inning or the following inning, Megan, you can let me know what you're looking at for photos, and I got you. I think Taylor will get this Bogaerts out of here. Bogaerts is a good player, but Taylor is one of the best bullpen guys that we got. I mean, he's got electric stuff. He's like Andres Munoz, just pitching in the late 7th or 8th. So it is possible Bogaerts gets like an RBI here, but if I had to put money on it, I would say that we're going to get out of this inning unscathed. I mean, besides the 1 run that they put up on us already with Wu and the 2 hits that are on first and second with the walk and hit. Oh, God damn it. Right up the middle. Brings open a run. Bogaerts, nice hit. Just over the head, where if you just put your mid up, you might have been able to get it. 5-2 Mariners. That's unfortunate. Nice job by Bogaerts. That's a rare hit on Troy Taylor. He doesn't give up a whole lot. I mean, he's pretty electric himself, like Munoz. But again, just like any good hitter and any good pitcher combo, if it's right down the middle, anything can happen. Nice job by Bogaerts. Next up, center fielder Jackson Merrill. Now we need to stop the bleeding here. We don't want the Padres to come back and win. All right, I got you. Come on, Troy. Get out of this inning. Top of the 7th, 5-2 Mariners. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Jackson Merrill in the box, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop out. Troy Taylor on the mound. 286 average, 23 homers, and 83 ribbies for Jackson Merrill. Stud. 1-1 pitch from Taylor to Merrill, incoming. Popped up. Crushed foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, me too. I mean, especially after he pitched, if he's not going to get the perfect game, complete game, no hitter, we want to make sure that at the very least, we end up getting the dub. We don't want to have a fucking meltdown. That would be terrible. Pitch is low at the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Settle in, Troy. Only a few more likes away to get to 40. Let's go. 34, 6 more likes to get to 40. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Now we're at 35. Thank you so much. 5 more to go to hit the goal for the stream for the likes. Pitches outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes for Taylor to Merrill. Come on, Troy. What the fuck are you doing? Let's go. You're electric. Act like it. Come on, baby. Come on, Troy. 3-2 pitch. Big pitch. Crush foul. Count remains 3-2. Three-two pitch. Popped up. Out of play. Runners go. 3-2 pitch. Got him! Fuck yeah. There we go. That's my boy. Nice job, baby. The most trustworthy guy that we have besides Andres Munoz or Matt Brash, but Matt Brash has been injured all year. Nice job getting us out of the inning, but again, the damage was done. 5-2 Mariners, but hopefully we can add on a little bit of insurance. Nice job. Shout out to Troy. Shout out to Brian Wu. Let's get some photos up here for Megan for her dono. Brian Wu is like must-see TV, man. He is electric. We'll hit you with some of Megan's favorites, as well as reflect and a few of the Hawks fans in the room. Little Jay-Z, Jim Zorn. Hit you with some Largent and some Pete. Appreciate the support. Interesting matchup this weekend against the Patriots. Looking forward to that. Patriot defense. Christian Gonzalez, maybe the most underrated corner in football. Obviously, we got to hit you with the new coach as well here real quick. McDonald, baby. Julio up to bat. First pitch is low and outside. 1-0 count. Hawks are in good hands after the transition. Next up for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Let's go, Julio. Pitch in the zone for a strike. 1-1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Bring that electricity, baby. We need it. Come on, Julio. Popped up. Could be a routine play here in the infield. 1 away. Thank you, Judah. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 2 for 3 with an RBI and a K. Did he end up hitting his 31st home run here tonight? Let's go, big dumper. Come on, baby. Pitches inside, 1 ball and no strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 2 for 3, a double single and an RBI. A home run yesterday with Luke Rayleigh. Yeah, obviously there's always going to be an overreaction when you win game number 1 against the Bengals. And again, Joe Burrow doesn't look healthy. Jamar Chase wants more money. T. Higgins was injured. There's no Joe Mixon. And I already knew the Bengals were going to be in trouble going into the year, but I didn't know that they were going to be that bad. And and obviously New England's defense is always good, and they showed that they can play defense. Now we just need to see if they can score some more points. But they started off the season with a win, and some Patriot fans didn't think they were going to get their first win until maybe a month into the season. So, you never know what you're going to get out of the NFL. That's what makes it so exciting. The parity and the closeness between the teams, based off talent. Popped up, 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, Randy Arozarena. And on top of that, they, ended up losing Judon to the Falcons. So your best defensive player left. You're not even starting your draft pick in Drake May. You got Jacoby Brissett. You got a brand new coach in Mayo. And, I was impressed. It might have not been a high-scoring game, but I'll tell you what, Christian Gonzalez from the Ducks, you look at every single player that he's shadowed in his career when he's been healthy, he hasn't given up a big touchdown or a big play to Tyreek or anybody. Shut down Jamar Chase, shut down Tyreek. And again, I feel that having an elite corner is pretty rare nowadays. And if he can just stay healthy, he's going to have a very, very long and special career. 1-1 pitch from Hoeing to Arozarena. New York Giants are some shit. Terrible franchise. I mean, obviously, at least like the Commandos are more dysfunctional, but Daniel Jones, that was the dumbest move ever. They were probably wishing that they had Eli back, or at least someone that was competent. Hostetler, Sims, anybody. And no Saquon now. I feel bad for that team, But again, you got to be able to have the right owner, the right GM, the right head coach, and you got to make the right decisions. Randy, back to the wall. Did he catch it? Oh my God, what a catch. Robbing Randy Arozarena of a home run. Fernando Tatis Jr. hitting a home run and robbing a home run. Julio, take notes. Wow. Unbelievable athleticism. That would have been a home run. That was very Ken Griffey Jr.-like. Fernando Tatis Jr. Wow. That was incredible. End of the 7th inning, 5-2 Mariners. Come on, Fernando. Why you got to do us like that? That was beautiful. Next up for the Padres here in the top of the 8th, 0 for 2, first baseman Donovan Solano. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher Kyle Higashioka. Higgy. And batting third, the modern-day Ichiro Suzuki, DHing Luis Ariz. He's only struck out twice since the All-Star break. Yes, I said that. Twice since the All-Star break. He is amazing. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help your boy out. Try to get to 40 likes before the stream ends. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that not only I've gone through, but I know some of y'all are going through it now or have in the past. And if you feel like you're slipping into the darkness a little bit, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. Exercise if you're not exercising. Eat a little bit healthier. Cut back on the fast food and the soda. Okay. Listen to 30 minutes of music every single day and make an effort, to be able to spend time with friends, family, and pets. And if you do these basic things, you'll come out the other side a lot faster and be able to get back to your normal self and win the day. Let's go, baby. Top of the 8th, 5-2 Mariners up on the Padres. Do the Padres have any electricity left? We will find out. I think with the Bears, Caleb didn't really have a very good performance, based off his first game. But obviously we saw what the special teams and the defense did, and that ultimately won the game for the Bears. And it's the first time a rookie quarterback at the first pick has won their opening game since, David Carr in 2001, 2002. So it's been a long, long time, but we need Caleb to play a little bit better, but again, it was, good enough because the defense and special teams stepped up. And, I'm not sure if you're going to get that type of defensive performance every week. The Bears now have the Texans with CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon, right? Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins. And then the next week, they got AR with Jonathan Taylor and company, with Michael Pittman Jr. and Alec Pierce and all of their weapons with Adonai Mitchell. So I would assume the Bears will not play as good defense or special teams against those two teams. But after they get past those two, the Texans and the Colts, they might be able to kind of get back to that week one kind of dominance. But I don't really know, if the Bears are good enough to make the playoffs this year, as a surprise team. I mean, if Caleb plays better, yeah, they might have a possibility, but again, The Packers have injuries with Love. We already know that the Lions are the best. The Vikings are trash. So you would assume that if the Bears overachieve, there is a small possibility that they could end up being the second or third team in the division, but it might take them a couple years before they end up, getting second and getting into a wild card spot with like 10 wins. But so far, they're 1-0. But after 2 weeks from now, they'll probably will be 1-2. I don't see them beating the Texans or the Colts, but you never know. I mean, if the special teams and defense plays like they did in week 1, they might be 2-1 after the first 3 weeks. You never know. Bottom of the 8th, 5-2 Seattle. Colin Snyder on the mound. And now they're bringing in David Peralta. $107 batters. Wow. Before a walk. Peralta pops up. 2 away. Next up, the modern-day Ichiro Suzuki DHing Luis Ariz. If you're the Minnesota Twins or the Miami Marlins, how do you let a player like that go? And then he ends up finding himself on the Padres. It's crazy. And there's a hit. Luis Ariz, I mean, the guy just doesn't strike out. Incredible player. Stud. What a joy to watch. It's like watching Ichiro all over again. Next up, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. Ariz 4 for 9 this series. Tatis hit a homer yesterday, right? Hit a homer today. Robbed a home run today. Can he hit another one? Wouldn't shock me. I hope he doesn't, though. We're at 48, 52 to go. Wow, Cubs 4 in the 5th. Tied up 7-7. Obviously not a good pitching matchup, but 1 for 3 with a solo home run in the 7th and homered yesterday as well. Dangerous hitter is an understatement, Sims. Chopper towards third. Force out at second, and we get out of it. Thank God. All right, let's see where we're at. We're 37. We need 3 more to get to 40. If you are in the room or just hopped in, now we're at 38. We gained 3-4 subs tonight as well. So shout out to the people that are new subs to the channel. I love you. And we only need 2 more likes for the whole stream to be able to hit the goal to hit 40. So I know we can do that before the game ends. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th, or excuse me, bottom of the 8th, 5-2 Mariners. And let's see if we can get some insurance for Seattle. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2 with a run, 2 RBIs, and a base on ball, Luke Raley. I love the addition of Luke Raley and Victor Robles on this team this year. Batting second, DHing for the Mariners, who's cooled off quite a bit. 0 for 2 with a run, base on ball, and a K, but I love his veteran leadership, and he's got a great attitude. Justin Turner, great clubhouse guy. And batting third this inning, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Going into yesterday's game was like 4 for 47. Went 2 for 4 yesterday. But again, just can't fucking hit. Ryan Bliss, hello? Jorge Polanco. I think Ryan Bliss would be more exciting for us. And he's a better defender, and he's got more speed on the bags. Could drop down bunts. But again, that's what happens when you get caught up and you end up paying Polo and Garver 10, 11 million a year, and sometimes you're forced to play guys like that. And hopefully the Mariner organization doesn't do that dumb shit again. If you're going to spend money, spend it on relief pitching. Spend 10, 11 million for one guy to pitch the 6th, 10, 11 million for a guy to pitch in the 7th. Don't do it for positional players. We got plenty of those in the farm system, and it just doesn't work out typically when we do that. But I do like Luke Raley. I do like Victor Robles. Randy Arozarena has been kind of streaky, but Hopefully we can end up getting this dub, and this will be the last game in the set as we end up playing the Rangers. But tomorrow we're going to do the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen going against Tua and the Miami Dolphins. Looking forward to that. Well, it's about time that we had a stinky inning from you guys, besides like the first 6. Which rookie quarterback? No, Jaden Daniels. But again, he's the type of guy that is going to run a lot like he did at LSU. So I feel like a lot of his teammates felt a little betrayed because he didn't go through his progressions. Like he snapped the ball. Bucs defense was kind of around him. And then instead of going through first progression, second progression, third progression for like Luke McCaffrey and Brown and Scary Terry McLaurin, he just kind of tucked it and ran over and over and over again. And for fantasy purposes, that's great if you got him. But if you're talking about the Commandos in general, might be the most dysfunctional team in sports, not just in the NFL. I wouldn't want to be a part of that organization or that fan base. But again, they got a lot of talent, but they're so dysfunctional, on both sides of the ball. They never live up to their expectations ever. But I would assume that Jaden Daniels, if you look at his numbers, he was the best one as far as rookie quarterback. A lot of the other guys, J.J. McCarthy's hurt. Michael Penix Jr. obviously hasn't got a chance to play, but you can tell Kirk Cousins is injured. Still with that Achilles. You can tell he can't put any weight on it. So Michael Penix Jr. might end up starting, this year, maybe in a couple weeks, especially if the Falcons start off 0-4 or 1-3. We're going to get Michael this year instead of maybe next year. And that's a big reason why they drafted him. And Falcons fans were all pissy. They're like, oh, we already have Kirk Cousins and gave him money. Why the hell are we drafting a quarterback? For that damn reason. That Cousins is not washed, but he's injured, right? And then obviously Bo Nix did not have a good outing, with his receivers, lots of pressure from Seattle. And anytime you end up playing in Seattle for your first game with that crowd, harsh environment, not many rookie quarterbacks would succeed there. So I think Bo will get better as the year goes on. But again, the Broncos have a lot of holes on the O-line, their skill position players, their defense. So it's going to be kind of a work in progress for a lot of the rookies. And then also Drake May, he didn't even start. He's on the bench. So as you see, all the hype in the draft of all these guys, you're only getting like a couple that are actually getting a chance to play, a couple that are waiting, Michael Penix Jr. and Drake May, and then one that got hurt in J.J. McCarthy. But I think that the one thing is clear, the Minnesota Vikings and the Raiders fucked up by not getting Michael Penix Jr. They would be sitting in a much better position today if they had that quarterback rather than going with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell or being an idiot with J.J. McCarthy. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Just because he played at Michigan and it's close to Minnesota, you thought that was going to be the answer for Minnesota? But it shows you some people are smart and some people are stupid. And, I guess Minnesota is stupid. So, again, and also with TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and Jay Jetta, you really think a guy like J.J. McCarthy is the best option? Dumb. But, again, I'm not a Viking fan either, and I'm not part of their organization, so. But that's my take after watching the games, doing the reaction videos, and I watch Red Zone and I watch multiple games. Like usually on a Saturday, I watch 3 to 4 full college football games. On Sunday, I usually watch 3 to 4 full NFL games, and then also watch Red Zone at the same time. So I'm watching as much as I can. And again, a lot of these guys, it's going to take some time to be able to, find themselves. And again, they were all hyping up the Trevor Lawrence draft, right? Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, right? And you started to realize Mac Jones and this is the best draft. These guys are going to be great. Now, out of, it's been a couple years, now you only got one guy that's considered a top 15 quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And even he has probably not lived up to the expectations of first pick. A lot of people expected him to be top 10 or top 8. And he'll play like a top 10 once in a while, but most of the time he plays like a top 15 quarterback or top 20, and all the other guys suck. So it shows you how hard it is to play quarterback in the NFL. And in this draft class, I'm not saying that it's going to be as bad as that other one. I think this draft class is better, but it's going to take some time. Since one guy's injured, didn't believe in McCarthy to begin with anyways. May and Penix Jr. are waiting for their turn, which they will get either this year or next year. Based on Jacoby Brissett as well as Kirk Cousins. And then you got Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels playing immediately. but it's going to be a work in progress. Bottom of the 8th, 5-2 Mariners. Nobody on, 2 outs, 3-2 pitch to Polo. Line drive. Throw to first. And we're going to the top of the 9th. Megan with a tour to get to 50. Thank you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little cactus jack. Bang, bang. We're at 50. 50 to go. Get some photos up here for Megan. Appreciate you. Anyone that don't knows, you end up getting whatever your favorite things are. You know, that could be actors, actresses. It could be NHL players, NBA players, wrestlers, past and present. You know, there isn't really anything that, you know, it's whatever your favorite thing is at that particular time. See if I can squeeze in a couple more here for Megan as we go to the top of the 9th. And I assume Andres Munoz will be coming out. As long as that injury with the sore elbow is okay. Let's take a look. Is he coming out? They still have Snyder out there on the list, so maybe Andres Munoz is not coming out. See if I can squeeze in at least one more for you here. We're at 50. 50 to go. I'll squeeze in your Glens one more time around. Plus, you know, from some of the previous streams with the donos, sometimes Megan has to leave early, so we want to make sure we're taking care of her. Appreciate you. One of the biggest supporters for me and Paisley on the NWSF. Thank you so much for all your love, support, and dedication and loyalty to the NWSF and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Appreciate you. Megan, all the way from Australia, repping the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Mariners, Kraken, Seahawks, Sonics. Appreciate you. All right, Andres Munoz is out. Here we go. I was about to say, he should be coming out. They didn't update it on ESPN. First pitch in there for a strike. Jurickson Profar in the box. Come on, Munoz. .279 average, 22 homers, and 82 ribbies. We need 3 up and 3 down in a victory here. Oh, absolutely, the 12s. They fucked him up. You know, again, because like if you watched what you know Bo did in preseason and you know what he did at Oregon, you know, everyone knew it was going to be a learning curve. But let's be honest, going to Seattle with that crowd and a very harsh environment, game number 1, instead of being at home in front of the Denver fans, which would have been a little bit easier. But again, you know, not every quarterback coming in, you know, is going to be Patrick Mahomes. You know, again, it takes time, you know, even if you end up having a successful college career or preseason career. It actually was probably one of the worst places that he could have started off week 1 in Bo Nix's career. You know, again, and we already feel like Seattle's going to be a playoff team at like 10-7, you know, 11-6, 12-5 possibly. So even though they're highly underrated, people thinking they're like the 22nd or 23rd best team, ridiculous. But again, let them hate. First pitch is inside to Manny Machado. 1-0 count. Yeah, Bo does not have a good record. You know, couldn't beat the Huskies twice. Yeah, it was kind of rough for him. Obviously, you know, going against the Washington teams. But still, you know, has a little bit of Drew Brees, you know, in him. I feel, you know, like I said, I feel like Bo's got, you know, a certain type of skill set. Baker Mayfield and Drew Brees kind of into one. you know, and I guess the comparison would be kind of like Baker Mayfield. And remember, Baker came out of Oklahoma, had that swagger, got the Browns to be like legitimate. They gave up on him. They thought Deshaun Watson was better. Obviously is not, right? We already know he's a creeper, right? And a criminal. And then ended up going to, you know, the Panthers, ended up going to the Rams, had that touchdown pass, I believe, against the Raiders with like 4 seconds left. That got him a job with the Bucks, a 1-year deal. And then now he found a home, and he actually is the most efficient quarterback dating back to last year towards the last month. If you actually go back and look at the stats on what he was able to provide. Got him. There we go. 2 away. And Baker right now, you know, 4 touchdown passes in week number 1. We got the Lions this week, but he definitely has put the Bucks in a position where we might be able to win the division 4 years in a row, and we might be able to make a deep run this year if we can stay healthy. You know, we got Jalen McMillan from the Huskies. He's our best number 3 receiver we've had ever. Like, we've never had a receiver that good. We got Bucky Irving as an RB2 from the Ducks. So nice Husky Duck representation, as well as Vita Vea. It sucks that Antoine Winfield Jr. got hurt, so he won't be available for the Lions, but I still think that we have a chance, you know, this weekend. Top of the ninth, 5-2 Mariners, nobody on, 2 outs. Pitches outside, 100 miles an hour from Munoz to Cronenworth. Come on, baby, let's go. Pitch right down the middle in the zone for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Damian must be a rocket scientist. The Mariners are not contenders. Really? I never thought so. Well, our fucking record is 73-72. We still have a chance to get into the wild card, but yeah, we're not good enough to win it all. Duh. Polo, go to first. There we go, baby, but we got a dub here. Hell yeah, only 3.5 back against the Houston Astros, baby. Final score, Seattle Mariners 5, San Diego Padres 2. And when the Mariners win, what the fuck do? We fucking dance. Mariners win! Mariners win! Mariners win! And we tie up the series. It's only a 2-game set. We lost 7-3 yesterday, and the magic number was 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. We got that. And Brian Wu was magnificent. Andres Munoz closing it out. And again, awesome. And we got the Rangers coming up and then the Yankees. So we'll see on how it goes. And I'll be doing the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins tomorrow. You never know what can happen. I mean, obviously, if we get into the dance with the pitching staff that we have, fired Scott Service, Edgar Martinez helping with the batting, it's worked out a little bit for us. I mean, obviously, it would have been much better if we could have made these changes earlier, but anything is possible until it's over. You know, you never know what can happen. And sometimes if you just get into the dance, sometimes you can overachieve. It's not like we've ever seen a wild card team that shouldn't really get into the playoffs, but they find themselves in, and then they end up doing damage and overachieving. That is possible. You never know. We obviously know that the Phillies and Dodgers are elite, but you can't count out the Padres as a sleeper, right? We already know that the Orioles and the Yankees and the Guardians are elite, but you can't count out the Astros and maybe not even the Mariners. So you never know what can end up happening, baby. Megan with a $5. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. But one thing that we always do here is we keep it real, regardless if it's for my team or the opposing team. You know, we don't act like we're going to go to the World Series and win every year. We're not Dallas Cowboy fans or ESPN. You know, again, we're real. When we're good, you're going to know it. When we're bad, you're going to know it. When we need improvement, you're going to know it. So, again, we're never going to act like we're something that we're not. But again, if we can find a way to keep grinding, we might, with a small percentage, maybe 10%, we might be able to get into the playoffs still. So I appreciate that, stand-up. You always have really kind words. You know how hard I work. And again, if you end up watching other streams and you compare it to what I bring, you know, I feel I got a different type of energy, skill set, as well as mine, you know, based off, you know, stats and analytics compared to anybody that's out there. So, well, what do you want to do for photos, Megan, before we go? Well, again, we usually will have ESP moments, one or two a game. But again, if I didn't read, 4 or 5 hours a day, watch film every day, record every day, and dedicate my life to this channel, obviously, we wouldn't be coming up with a lot of those predictions. And again, a lot of times, if you end up paying attention, and you read and watch a lot of film, history tends to repeat itself. Records are meant to be broken, but history repeats itself in sports a lot. You just have to recognize the signs. Big facts. Appreciate you, Anna. And I'll be doing another Mariner game, at some point. But obviously, we got Thursday night football. Let me take a quick look on what we got on the schedule. We hit 40 likes, so thank you for that. So let's take a quick look on the schedule, and I'll get some photos for Megan before we go. You do need a pepperoni pizza in your life, Elliot. I'm taking a look here. So tomorrow we start against the Rangers. I believe Bryce Miller is on the mound. Yeah, Bryce Miller versus Rocker. But I'm doing, I'll be able to pay attention to that game, and I'll call that with the NFL game at the same time. But the primary will be Bills and Dolphins. And then about an hour and a half after that starts, then we get Rangers and Mariners, and I'll kind of do two at the same time. And then on Friday, we will do Rangers and Mariners solo stream, just that. And that's at 7 p.m. And it's Jacob deGrom against Undecided, so I don't know who that'll be. Saturday, we might do two streams where we do the Ducks and the Beavers for the Civil War at 12:30. And then later on that night, the Mariners play against the Rangers at 6:40. It just depends on how I'm feeling. And we got Scherzer versus Gilbert. So depending on if I don't lose my voice in the Ducks game versus the Beavers, I might do two streams on Saturday. Then Sunday, reaction videos, obviously, and then Sunday night football. Let's take a quick look at the schedule. Peek ahead. So we got Bills Dolphins tomorrow. Bears Texans on Sunday night, Caleb versus CJ, and then Falcons Eagles on Monday night. And then I'll definitely be doing reaction videos to Bucks Lions and the Saints and the Cowboys. Those will be the priority. And then I'll do probably three more, on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. So, yeah. And I feel, a lot of the other individuals, they might have, graphics that pop up or this or that or a thumbnail. But I feel that as far as stats and analytics, you go deeper here than any other channel. We're going to give you a lot of that stat and analytical, that a lot of people crave that you're not really getting. A lot of people are just going to be screaming and yelling, but they might not really know a lot about the stat side. And I always want to make sure we give the stats not only for the Mariners, but for the opposing teams, as well as the NFL, college football, NHL, or whatever we're doing. So anything that you want to do, hack, and okay, I got you. Appreciate you, Megan. Five 5-0 record at T-Mobile, 1.66 ERA, 40 Ks to 4 walks, opponent average 0.160. Ryan Wu, you are the real deal, Holyfield. Yeah, Brian Wu doesn't really compare to any player that we've seen in baseball before. He's special. Little hack, little dredge. Appreciate you. I appreciate that. That recognition means a lot, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I always try to put in as much work as I can. Yeah, what do you want for your photos, Matt? You want just your normal Tay-Tay experience, or do you want something specific like Oregon Ducks or Bo Nix on the Broncos? Is there something specific that you want, or just the regular Tay-Tay routine? Yeah, I mean, I was going to be okay with just a no-hitter, but complete game, perfect game. I just knew that might have been out of reach. I mean, this is the best hitting team in baseball. Now, if we were playing like the White Sox, maybe we would be able to get it going, but, still proud of Brian Wu. Got the dub, and that's what matters. 8-2 record now. I'm going to go down the Tay-Tay list here for Matt. Make some room. Tay-Tay got mind control over millions of people in the world. Three and a half games back for the Mariners, baby. We're close. Yeah, we'll see on how it goes. All right, we hit 55. We hit over the 40 likes, I believe, right? We got over 40. I got to go eat dinner, and I got to take Paisley for a long walk. We hit 41 likes. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, tomorrow, we're going to do the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. And then once we get about halftime, then the Mariners are going to start against the Rangers. And I'll try to call both games at the same time, the best of my ability, giving updates on the Mariner game. So if you are a baseball fan, I will be doing that as well. And hopefully we end up having an amazing matchup between the Bills and Josh Allen and Tua and the Dolphins. And hopefully we can get that dub with Bryce Miller against the Rangers tomorrow. That would be epic. No Corey Seager. He's injured. So we have to try to find a way to take advantage. So I love you guys and appreciate you guys. GG, Elliott, you got us yesterday. We got you today. Fernando Tatis Jr., wow. I mean, you guys have such an amazing team. I'll be rooting for you and your team in the National League as a sleeper team, that could end up doing some damage. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your night. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang. Go Mariners.